To join us shortly on the broadcast. My name's Gus McLeod. Thanks to our good friends at the Old Town and Country Tavern. Dan Vaccaro's on the 40-wing stat sheet. And boundary side for Waters is Scott Montgomery. Monty, down to you in the centre of the Norman's Oval, and you've just racked up a 40-winker.
Yeah, how quick was that? Did you see how quick my hands were there?
We
put it
down,
on the
mate.
sheet. Not many see that, do they? And just quietly, I think Paddy Warner's playing, boys.
Paddy Warner's in.
Paddy Warner's playing, who obviously played in the grand final last year. He wasn't, I don't think he's even in the record.
He wasn't named in the Rezzies either.
No, so he's running around. I think Dane Porter might be out, boys, after watching Dan Sharrock toss the coin. And obviously, I just spoke about Juice Newton's out as well. So I'll get that all confirmed and who's in, boys, before the bounce.
Must be a bit of pocket money at Wangaratta. You do get fined for playing funny buggers on the team sheet. I know that Darren Creswell was well renowned for it, Monty, at one stage. So there you go, a late change, and that's why he's the best in the business, thanks to Waters. We believe Paddy Warner, the boy from Benalla, has come into the side to replace Dane Porter, or Diane Portner, as we sometimes refer to him here on the broadcast, and confirming the change that we brought to you during the program, that Michael Newton will be out of the side, and we believe that Will O'Keefe has taken his spot. Down to you, Monty, for Waters.
Yeah, just spoke to Skills McMahon, mate. He's the best runner in the business. He just told me that, yeah, Paddy Warner's come in, Hunter Gotchling's gone out, Will O'Keefe's come in for Juice, and Dane Porter. So there is 3 changes.
So we need to find out who else has come into the side. Is it Waitai Tua as well?
I think it might be.
We'll get you to...
I'll find that out, yeah.
You to find that out.
Skillsy was a bit short on who he actually knew.
I reckon this might be Waitai here, right in front of you in the blue boots, Monty, so we'll get you to track that one for us. But nonetheless, we'll get our tips, starting with Dan Vaccaro on the 40-wing stat sheet.
I always hate to do it, Gus, but I think Wangaratta are going to win.
Monty, boundary side for Waters.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wodonga, actually, after these couple of changes. So, yeah, let's go with Wodonga.
Wangaratta for 4-point victory for me. Great to have your company on M Live. The first quarter is brought to you by A-grade oils and batteries. We're not too far away from getting underway. We might actually be 2 minutes away, Monty, because the clock is still at 5:58. Just hit 5:59, and the umpires are very pedantic about when they throw the ball up.
And I reckon that clock's running about a minute slow, just according to Apple. So, yeah, if you check your phones, it's nearly 6 now, so you should just throw it up.
So just repeating those changes for us, Monty, for the Magpies?
Yeah, so Michael Newton's out, boys, and Paddy Warner's come in. Also out is Dane Porter. I'll try and find out what's happened with him. And there was one other too. Sorry, boys, I just lost it. Hunter Gotchling.
Hunter Gotchling, which means a change on the 40-wing stat sheet, Dan. And I reckon we'll look to add Cal Moore.
Cal Moore for Dane Porter and Luke Saunders for Hunter Gotchling.
Geez, not bad. He's making a case for number 1 here on O&M Live.
He's already there, Gus. Come on. He's in the A-team.
Good evening to you, whether you're tuning in via the radio or on Optus O&M TV, with Luke Chilcott pushing the buttons and Doug on the camera for us this evening, I should say. And the umpire throws the footy aloft, and we're underway. Knowles brought it to ground level, tapped it backwards. Baker clearing kick away for the Dogs up towards half forward. Here's a go for Griffiths. He started at half forward, dispossessed of the football. Well, in fact, that was Joel Heiner. Umpire said nothing in that one. Going inside forward 50 was Greenhill, top of the goal square. Sits nicely for the dual stick. He snaps on the left and snaps a bit too hard. The ball goes out of bounds for a boundary throwing deep in the pocket. That's a really good start for the Dogs. Boundary side for Waters, Scott Montgomery.
Yeah, how clean were they out of the centre there? Just got it forward as quick as they can, a bit of a rush. Look, boys, down here, there's a little bit of a spit of rain, but it shouldn't be too bad. The ground's in great nick, and there's a little slight breeze coming across the ground, not really favouring either end.
Clark over the top to Warner. True centre wing, Ovens River side of the ground. A little 1-2 over the top was poor. The Dogs have numbers. Here's a go for Mayfield. Wants to open up the middle of the ground. The kick is okay. Coming through the middle. That was well done by Matt Wilson, but the umpire said you had your prior opportunity and you got tackled with the footy. Free kick holding the ball. It's going to go the way of the Pies. It's true centre half back. Umpire calls Grossman to play on. He kicks in towards half forward, reads the target, and taking a good strong mark in defence. Looks like it's Big Driscoll. Umpire's paid a free kick, has he? Or was he called 50 metre penalty?
Ran through the mark there, boys. I think it was Fraser Hollandine, so he ran straight through the mark, and Connor O'Sullivan will move forward here and probably pump him inside 50.
So it's Big Jack, the boy from Karoit, back into the side. He played the season opener, missed last week. Team of the year play with Karoit as he kicks inside forward 50. High up and under kick. The Pies have numbers. Bring it to ground level as the dual stick. Kitching applied some good forward craft. The Magpies get the ball out towards Melksham. Across left half back. Darts the ball back inboard. They could have raffled that one. Grossman's got the Sharon. Comes out broadcast side. Here's a go for Fraser Ellis. Right foot kick down the line's a good one, but it just has a bit too much on it for the captain or the vice-captain today, Jackson Clark, out of bounds for a boundary throw. And as we go to the 40-wing stat sheet with Dan Vaccaro.
Thanks, Gussie. Doing it for 40 winks. Really positive start by Wodonga. 2 inside 50s early, and the centre clearance goes to them as well. So good start by Wodonga.
No scores registered on the Paulies Corner scoreboard just yet. And the scoreboard attendant was a bit slow on the clock, as was I. Reckon we played about 2.5 minutes. Here's a go for Sharrock. Left foot kick inside forward 50 to the Evans Street end. Reid made a good contest. Driscoll was there for the Dogs. Tries to clear. Opportunity falls the way of Warner. Kicks up towards the top of the goal square. And getting a crucial touch on that one was Matthew Sorochinski. And the Magpies are on the board with the first behind on the Paulies Corner Cafe scoreboard, Monty.
Yeah, they look dangerous, don't they, when they go inside 50 like that. Bit of a rush ball. Ben Reid comes up and crushes the pack and gets out the back, and Paddy Warner gets his hands on it pretty quickly for his first game of the year.
Sorochinski from half back finds Cactus Brown, or Cade as he was at birth. Good nickname, that one, the Cactus. Monty, I'm a big fan of that one.
Is that what it has to be? Is that what it's to do with?
I actually don't know.
Or a bit dry?
Don't know the nickname, why, the story behind it, but I like it, the Cactus. Finds Sorochinski, and the Dogs want to exit defensive 50, but they're well held up by the Magpies. Clearing down the line was Morrison. Not his best kick. The umpire's going to pay out of bounds in the full here, Mont, I believe.
Yes, they have. Morrison's kick just went a bit off the side of the boot, but see there, they want to get in the hands of Angus Baker. He's the one that found Morrison with a short kick, and they try and give it to him every chance they get.
So the Magpies want to go inside forward 50. That they do now. Reed's one out. Well done, Morrison, bringing it to ground level. Trying to find Murray Waite. Sorochinski's at the bottom of the pack. Umpire has whistle in hand, and he says we'll ball the footy up right on the goal line for the Wangaratta Magpies. Kicking to the Evans Street end. They lead by 1 point. Wodonga yet to score. Paulie's Corner scoreboard. Top of the goal square. Matey burrows his way through. Finds Sorochinski. Wrapped up in a big McVeigh tackle. The umpire says we'll have another restart. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Matt Sorochinski's started really well, boys. He's had 2 early touches of the footy and looks dangerous.
Ruck contest, one done by Griffiths. Clearing the lines for the Dogs. They go up towards half forward. Heiner got a crucial little touch on that one to parry it over the top. Wilson was there. Here's a go for Sharrock. Matt Wilson applies a big tackle. Should be holding the footy. Umpire says advantage. They're away via Baker. Or Cactus Brown, I should say, kicks long down the line. Van Berlo chops out nicely for the Pies. They're going to try and switch the footy here, Mont.
Yeah, you see the way they're set up so well. Van Berlo just sets that defence up, and it's very hard to get past. Wodonga forward just need to make sure they hold their ground a little bit more and not give them those easy out numbers.
Barrett's kick was a nice one. It doesn't quite fall the way of Liam McVeigh. Couldn't take it on the half volley. Boundary throw in. 70 metres out from the Magpies goal.
Just see the way the ball skid on the ground there. So that little bit of drizzle has caused a bit of a dew on the ground more so than it making it wet. So the ball might skid on for this first quarter until it dries out a little bit.
5 minutes gone in the first term on the Maccas time clock. McVeigh won the tap. The Magpies have numbers at ground level. Putting his head over the footy was Sharrock, but the umpires found a free kick for holding the footy, Monty. It's going to go the way of the Dogs.
Big Knowles, a bit stiff there. I thought it might have just come out in the tackle, but great pressure applied there, and Ollie Greenhill's been rewarded for the tackle.
Across right, or left half back, I should say. Wants to come broadcast side. The Magpies lead by a sole point for Paulie's Corner Cafe. Here's a go now. Kick was smothered off the boot. That was well done by Oscar Wilding. Got the long sleeves on today. Mayfield tries to burrow the ball in towards his advantage. Well done by Fraser Ellis. The umpire pointed the wrong way there, Monty, but it's going to be a free kick coming back for Mayfield.
Yeah, Mayfield just burrows in, doesn't he? He's a hard nut, and he finds these free kicks a lot in his short career so far, but he's a hard nut, and that's what he got rewarded for there, getting there first.
True centre wing, grandstand side, kicks in the Hines direction, made a good go of that one, brought it to ground level, fed out nicely by Ellis. Barrett chisels a kick in towards centre half back. The mark's being taken, and being taken well. I think it's Paddy Warner coming back into the side. Right foot kicks, nice one to Murray Waite. True centre wing, grandstand side, kicks down the line, kick it a bit too much on it. Making a good go of this one was O'Sullivan. Here's a go for Mayfield. Wants to hug the boundary line. Dangerous kick, but the kick works out okay to Jet Cassidy. For the Bulldogs, right foot kick down the line in a 2-on-1. Hines has got the longies on. And he's been spoilt nicely by Michael Bordingong. We'll have a boundary throw in right in front of our broadcast position here on O&M Live. The Pies lead 1 behind to the Dogs yet to score. Paulie's Corner Cafe scoreboard.
Thanks, Gussie. Just on the 40-wing stat sheet, their big guns have started really positively for Wodonga. Angus Baker with the 3 touches, and Josh Matthew as well, getting his hands on the footy early on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Michael Bordingong just showed there how good of a defender he is. He's come off his man and jumped over the top with a great spoil.
So the ball's in the hands now of Ma. Left it behind. Heiner returns to the club from a stint at Dedorang. Missed the Sharon. Sharrett comes through. McVeigh wrapped up in a big tackle. Lost the footy illegally. And the umpire agrees. Free kick to the Dogs. And it's going to go the way of Brown. Right foot kicks a nice one. Finds Jorgensen. Just forward of true centre for the Dogs. Inside forward 50. Not the best kick. Well done by Grossman. Got a crucial fist involved in the game. Van Berlo. Low chiselling kick. Works out okay. The Magpies have numbers across half-back. Saunders finds the left boot. Hugs the boundary line. And looks like the Magpies really want to open this game up, Monty, looking to switch the ball as often as they can.
Absolutely. It's the way they play, isn't it? Nice short kicks to try and open up the open side, which I reckon they'll be able to keep going here with Barrett, who's just got Ellis, who come off the bench.
Well spotted by Scott Montgomery for Waters, boundary side. Ellis, chiselling kick down the line, works out beautifully for Waite. He's got a lead on. The kick was poor towards Clark, up towards half forward. O'Sullivan's there. And he takes that one out of bounds for a boundary throw in. The Pies lead one behind the Dogs, yet to score. First quarter action for A-grade oars and batteries, Monty.
Yeah, it's just it's hard, tough down here, boys. Every time someone comes off, they are blowing big time. So good intensity to start this game for both teams.
Boundary throw in. Moore goes in the ruck, palms it down. Here's a go for Jorgensen for the Dogs. Edge of the centre square, chisels the ball in towards Wilson and gets the 1-2. Here's Baker. Baker kicks inside 50 to Hines. He got on hands and knees, slid in and took the mark, and the big fella is within range. And he says, boys, I'm going to go back and have a set shot 45 metres out directly in front.
Jeez, he's backed himself here, turned the back on anything that was going on inside 50 and just went, nah, boys, leave it to me. So he's got a bit of a Dennis Lilly run-up here, 45-metre run-up, but his shot on goal will go from about 50, so he should be pretty close.
In his defence, the midfielders were pointing at the goals, Mont, so we'll give that one to Heinze. He's kicking to the club room's end. The man from Dedorang, Mount Beauty. Kick looks online. Does it have the accuracy? You bet it does. Hig Hines has got the first on the board. It's a contender for a goal of the day, thanks to our good friends at Steelline. And the Wangaratta Magpies, well, they're suffering a bit of a shock start to this game. The Dogs lead 1 straight 6 to the Magpies, just 1 behind, and we've played 8.5 minutes on the Macca's time clock.
You wouldn't mind being a forward of an inside 50 entry like that. Hit him straight on the chest, nearly went through Nick Hines' chest there. And Wodonga's shown they want to try and move the ball just like Wang, try and kick short and then take it on once they get to about centre and go quick as they can, not let the Wangaratta defenders drop off.
Really positive start by Wodonga boys. Nick Hines, they brought him in this year to kick his goals, 65 goals last year in the TDFL. First mark inside 50 as well on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Griffiths went early in the ruck, allowed Knowles to palm it down, where the Dogs have numbers. Mayfield gets the ball in the boot up towards half forward. Hines made a contest, brought it to ground level. Here's a go for Jorgensen. Shovels one back towards Brown. Shimmies and shakes, throws it on the boot, not the best kick. And intercepting nicely is Barrett across left half back. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Cam Barrett up to his 4th touch, boys. He started really positively. And Dan Sharrock, just like last week, boys, really good early touches. 3 to him as well on the 40-wing stat sheet.
10 minutes gone for Macca's on O&M Live as we go boundary side to Monty for Waters.
Yeah, boys, so just those 3 changes again for Wangaratta. Michael Newton, Hunter Gotchling out, and in is Paddy Warner, Daniel Saunders and Will O'Keefe. And
Andrews kicks inside forward 52 strong. The Wangaratta backline are really starting to stand up here, Monty, and the Dogs are going to have to be a bit more clinical when they go inside 50. They can't just bomb it in.
Yeah, Van Berlo already would have had 4 marks, I reckon, just sitting off his his opponent. They just need to make sure they're not getting too far up the ground and just leaving Van Berlo all by himself.
So this is where the Dogs have been really good at not allowing the Magpies to penetrate past halfway. As Waite kicks down the ground, free kick and a whistle. Scott Montgomery for Waters.
Yeah, a bit stiff there, Morrison. I thought he probably had a good body position, but they said he had his arm around the waist.
Reed kicks inside 450 to the Evans Street end, and the mark's been taken. It's Will O'Keefe coming in from the thirds, and he's marked 10 metres out. Call it directly in front.
Yeah, great kick by Ben Reid. Just picked the right spot, and O'Keefe just read it best, as most forwards do. Read it well off the boot and was able to take the clean grab, about 25 out slide angle. Should be able to put this one through.
Another man who's big in the TikTok world, Will O'Keefe.
Geez, you watch TikTok a lot.
I watch way too much TikTok. O'Keefe to the Evans Street end. It's narrow, but it's straight. The Magpies are on the board. They'll get around the young fella as he kicks his first in senior footy. And the Magpies regain the lead by a sole point on the Paulie's Corner scoreboard. It's first quarter action for A-grade oars and batteries.
Really good goal there by Wangaratta. The inside 50 count's really interesting, boys. 5-6 in favour of Wodonga, but the marks inside 50 has been a concern early. They've only taken 1 mark each inside the 50 in the first 15 minutes, so teams are starting to clean up a little bit their skill level, but Angus Baker's been really good for Wodonga with 4 touches. Ollie Greenhill, Sorochinsky, Josh Matthew, they've all got their hands in the footy as well, and Dan Sharrock for Wangaratta has been really good on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Monty, really good to see some of these thirds from the Wangaratta program getting their taste at senior level.
Absolutely. Won the flag last year, so there's a lot of talent in that thirds group.
Waite inside forward 50 for the Pies to the Evans Street end. The kick wasn't the best, tracking this ball to the boundary nicely is Matthew Sorochinsky. We'll have a boundary throw in 45 metres out from the Magpies goal.
See how easily they just get it out of the centre. When their midfield's on top, Wangaratta, they're very hard to stop, and at the moment they're definitely on top.
Magpies 1-1-7 of the Dogs, 1 straight 6. Paulie's corner scoreboard. Taking out the ruck is Moore, throws it on the boot. It's bending back. Is it bent back enough? Not quite. To the right-hand side for a minor score. The Magpies extend the lead to 2 points. 1-2-8 to the Dogs, 1 straight 6.
First touch for Callum Moore too, boys, on the 40-wing stat sheet.
He's dangerous in those inside 50 throw-ins. We saw last week, I think he tapped 2 or 3 down the throats of teammates to kick goals from clearances. And, yeah, he's very dangerous when he wants to just use his strength and take it out of the ruck like he did there.
The Bulldogs, via Johnson, want to kick down the broadcast side wing. Cal Moore flew high. Baker with a 40-wings disposal. Here's a go for the co-captain, Greenhill. Left foot kick, hugged the boundary line, but it's been marked nicely by the dual stick. Or stick, as he goes by these days, Monty.
Just the stick, I love it. It's such a good name, especially when you give your name to yourself. You've got to bloody really stick with it and ride it, don't you?
Nice play on words there from you, Monty, for Waters. The stick goes long down the line, but Matt Grossman, as he's been doing in the SSNA Ovens and Murray for years, chops out across half-back. Ball's in the hands of Tyler Norton. Not his best kick. Opportunity falls the way of the Dogs. Norton's going to have to regather himself. He does nicely. Goes by hand to Grossman. Melksham, the boy from Corowa, exits defensive 50 with not his best kick. Up towards half forward. Tracking this one is Andrews, the left foot up. Comes inboard to Mathy. Might have just gone the required 15. Umpire said it did. Mathy goes to Jorgensen. The Dogs look dangerous here. Ball's gone the way to Matthew Wilson. The boy from Finley. Here's a go for the Dogs inside 450 via Sorochinsky. Top of the square, no one's there. And Van Berlo chops out at full-back for the Pies.
Just a poor inside 50 there from Sorochinsky. Just wasn't good enough. Just did not even look. Didn't honour any leads. And Van Berlo too good.
Danger here for the Dogs. Ball falls the way of Jorgensen. Back-to-back. Oh, sorry, not quite back-to-back. Got a little bit ahead of myself there, boys. But the Dogs respond with a much-needed goal. And they bring the margin back to 4 points on the Paulie's corner scoreboard. And Monty, I tell you what, the Magpies looking a little bit cute exiting D50.
Absolutely. A little bit cute there by Van Berlo if his foot skills didn't hit the target. And they try to give the quick hands and just turns over. And great forward pressure from Wodonga. Their smalls and mids have been really good at that so far in their first 2 games. Just putting a lot of pressure on when their other teams are trying to exit. And, yeah, she says there, they get a reward for effort.
It's amazing what they can do, Wodonga, when they get their hands on, when the football goes in the hands of Angus Baker, Sorochinsky, Mathy, Jorgensen. They're big guns. They just really stand up and they're all getting their fair share of the footy so far, boys.
The Dogs lead 2 straight to the Pies, 1-2-8 for Paulie's Corner Cafe. Won't get a seat there tomorrow, boys, but book in advance for the best cafe in Wangaratta. Heiner was wrapped up in a tackle by Sharrock, and the umpire says, give it here, boys. We'll restart the footy once again.
Again, Chris Knowles is showing there. Great tap work. Kel Moore it was. Yeah, just great tap work. And again, just too easy for him.
Right on cue to Clark, who goes inside forward 50. It's a shallow entry. O'Sullivan out in front takes a really strong mark, and the boy from Koroyd is starting to impress, Monty.
Yeah, he's a good size, and he's not quite a traditional centre-half-back, but he plays that role really well and takes really good contested marks.
Miles Jewell makes a contest. Ball spills out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Dan Vaccaro on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Josh Mathy, boys, he's really playing a good first quarter. 5 touches for him. Jorgensen's up to 5, and Angus Baker as well, starting to dominate with 5 touches as well on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Around the grounds, thanks to Waters, the Bombers are out by 36 points over the D's. Who would have thought that had happened? Not me. Moore palms the ball back in towards space. Mathy intercepted for the Dogs and kicked up the middle of the ground, but it's only met by black and white jerseys, one of whom is Matt Grossman. Rebounds, kicks towards half forward. Moore makes a contest, did really well there for the Pies. Clark's got Waite over the top, 55 from home. Right foot kick to the hot spot from Waite. It's a beautiful one, but the Dogs spilt a golden opportunity. Ball's in the hands of Baker. Finds Morrison, exits defensive 50 and gets the ball up to Kitching. Monty, a wasted chance for the Pies inside 50.
That was a beautiful kick from Murray Waite. Great vision in this spot. Darcy Melcham floating in from that far wing, but just wasn't quite good enough to hold on to the chest mark. 16 and a half minutes gone. Macca's time clock. The Pies go inside forward 50. Big contest forms, bringing it to ground level. Burrowing through was Jules.
Kitching for the Dogs. Handballs was intercepted by Barrett. Barrett throws it on the boot and he misses to the left-hand side. The Wangaratta Magpies move to 139. Wodonga 2 straight 12. Thanks to Paulie's Corner Cafe on O&M Live.
It's a bit of deja vu. Start of the game last week on Good Friday, Wangaratta had all the opportunities to really kick away and just weren't able to take them. Hopefully, they're able to straighten up a little bit and kick a few more goals.
Inside 50s now, boys. Wangaratta's really starting to assert their dominance. They're up to 9 this quarter, so really starting to win the territory battle here, boys.
The stick flew high and the umpires found a free kick. It's going to go the way of, I think it's Reed or Moore, I should say, for a hold.
Yeah, he just grabbed his arm as he was trying to go up for the mark there, boys. So good call by Pato, umpire Pato.
Well spotted by you, Monty, for Waters. Moore just puts it to the hot spot. Numbers fall the way of the Dogs and Tom Johnson intercepts beautifully at fullback. Johnson comes broadcast wing. It's a nice looking kick to the Cactus Brown. Cade in the back pocket for the Dogs. Low chiselling ball. It works out okay. The Dogs are playing some methodical footy as they exit defensive 50. Umpire calls Ma to play on. Goes back to Johnson at fullback. Goes Ovens River side of the ground now with a beautiful looking kick to Morrison. Got pushed as he kicked it. Umpire said there was nothing in it. It was all fair. Opportunity now for the Pies. Anderson, this is Mark. True centre wing. Ovens River side of the ground. Inside forward 50. Reads the target. Not the best kick. Tom Johnson closes and helps the footy towards the boundary line for a restart. It's a 3-point lead to the Bulldogs. First quarter action for A-grade oars and batteries.
Just having they're nearly camping it inside their half for the last 3 or 4 minutes here, Wangaratta. They got a reward for effort. Otherwise, if Wodonga go down the other end and kick one, a cheap one, it's going to really hurt them.
Boundary throw-in front of the cricket nets here at the Normans Oval. Griffiths and Reid do battle in the ruck. Comes to ground level. Getting the football away is Saunders. He handballs nicely. Inside forward 50 go the Pies. Good contest forms, spilling around. McVeigh's happy to take this one towards the boundary line, and we'll have another restart. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Thanks, Gussie. Yeah, the ball looks to be really camped in their 50 at the moment. They're up to the 12 inside 50s to Wodonga's 7. So the territory battle's theirs, and they're really starting to assert their dominance here.
O&M Live, thanks to our good friends at Wangaratta Motor Group. Football goes up towards half forward. The Dogs are in defence. Pressure comes now. O'Keefe shovels it backwards to Anderson. High up and under inside forward 50. Contest forms. Ball hits the deck 5 metres from home. The Dogs are living on the edge here. Morrison wants to find the right. Hacks it up the line. Hines worked his way up the contest. Heiner palms this one out nicely. The Dogs are away via Wilson. Takes a second bounce. True centre wing. Broadcast side. Wilson's kick down the line is not the best. He makes the stick work really hard for it, but the Dogs have gained a valuable 150 metres, boundary thrown on there across their half-forward line.
Yeah, so smart, Joel Heiner there. Just instead of taking the tackle, which he would have come if he had have taken possession, he's tapped it on. And Matt Wilson, you see what he wanted to do. He didn't want to blaze away to the Wangaratta defenders that were starting to drop off. He tried to hit it, just didn't quite execute the skill, but it was a great decision.
So boundary throw-in front of the canteen here at the Normans. Moore's gone into the ruck. Sharrock's handball was well weighted. Moore bust through. Did he get held by Baker? The umpire said yes. It's a free kick to the 2021 Morris medalist, Cal Moore. True centre wing broadcast side. The umpire calls him to play on, so Moore chips dangerously over the top. Oh, and the mark has been taken. Monty, talk us through this.
The boundary umpire started blowing her whistle for out of bounds on the full, so I think that's what they've gone with. And yeah, Miles Drill will get the free kick.
Against O'Keefe, who's already kicked a goal for the Pies. Up towards half forward. Van Berlo got a fist. Mathy comes through, burrows himself in like we know he does. He's going to win himself another free kick, Monty. That's what Josh Mathy does best.
Yeah, he does. He just gets in and get it. But I think they've paid it for a throw, maybe. I don't know what the umpire was signalling there. That's what I think he was signalling, but I'm not 100%.
Mathy, inside forward 50. Wilson's the target. Jewell brings it to ground level. Barrett's there for the Magpies. Handballs backwards to Ellis, who kicks across the half-back flank. The Magpies want to exit via McVeigh. His kick's okay. Up towards the Ovens River side of the ground is Saunders. Across half-back, good tackle from Brown. Umpire said nothing in it. The Magpies go long down the line via Grossman. Just trying to gain some yards. Coming off his man was Morrison. Makes a go of this one, throws it on the boot and gets the Dogs into attack. But it's not his best kick. It goes out of bounds on the Ovens River side of the ground for a free kick going the way of the Pies.
Yeah, it's happened a few times already, so it's not as if the wind's taken. I think it's just poor skills with the pressure that's going on around the footy at the moment. So great intensity. Just need to probably clean up their skills both sides.
First quarter action on O&M Live for A-grade oars and batteries. The Pies, they trail by 3 points. Wodonga, 2 straight. to the Wangaratta Magpies, 139 for Paulie's Corner Cafe. Boundary sign for Waters. It's Monty.
Yeah, mate, as I said, this is the intensity here. Just a few blokes are coming off absolutely blowing still. So the game hasn't slowed down, and that's probably reflecting the scoreboard right now of such a low-scoring game.
Josh Matthew, boys, as well. He's up to the 7 touches. He's been fantastic for Wodonga. He just gets in the right spot and he crumbs really well.
He certainly does. Football pinballing around, true centre wing, far side. And it goes out of bounds for another boundary throw-in. We'll go around the grounds and get a netball update thanks to Ray White Rural and some games that have been happening today in the SSNA, Ovens and Murray, the netball side of things. We'll get those very shortly for you here on O&M Live. The app just freezing momentarily on us. Cross half forward. The Magpies have the numbers. Ball spills out. Here's a go for Melksham. He's got the longies on tonight. Kicks inside forward 50. Moore wants to find the right. Goes for a banana kick. Well done by Miles. Jewell made a good contest. Melksham buries in. Did he drop the shoulder, Monty? He did.
Yeah,
and it's a free kick to the Pies.
And a bit of carry on here as well. But yeah, definitely free kick there. Mitch Deneen just didn't quite go low enough. And Darcy Melksham will have the set shot from about 45.
Well called by you, Monty. Seeing the way things are playing out. And it's going to be Darcy Melksham. I like the role he's playing for the Wangaratta Magpies since coming across from Corowa.
How good is it to see these Corowa guys still running around too? Obviously, without a club to play for themselves, they're still playing O&M senior footy, so they haven't been lost to the league, which is great to see.
Joe Hanson's at Lavington. We saw Jared Hatton debut for the Pigeons today in their win.
Bailey Pernag's been playing at Lavington as well.
And now Melksham for the Magpies to the Evans Street end. Right foot kick. Looks okay off the boot, but it's to the right-hand side for a minor score. So inaccuracy costing the Magpies dearly. They trail by 2 points, 1-4-10. To the Dogs, 2 straight for Paulie's Corner Cafe.
Don't want to sound like a broken record, but this is exactly what happened on Good Friday, boys. They were a bit slow to get their goal-kicking boots on, and it hurt them at the end of the day.
So the Dogs have the footy via Greenhill, the co-captain. They go out to who I think is Sorochinski as I throw the binoculars on. It is in front of the Paulie's Corner Cafe scoreboard. His kick was poor. It's chopped out by Sharrock. Chisels the ball inside forward 50. It was poor for McVeigh. He's going to have to do some crumbing work. Makes a good contest. The support arrives. They fling it out in towards space. Ellis left it behind. Melksham got amongst the action here for the Magpies. Ellis throws it on the boot. Inside 50, going back courageously was Holland Dean. Reads around this contest here for the Magpies. Lurking around is Kitching. Applies a good tackle for the Dogs. Sharrock tries to bust his way through. Umpire should blow his whistle here for a restart. But he's going to pay holding the footy, Monty.
Oh, I think he might have pinged him for jumping on it, which... Yeah, a bit stiff there. You don't normally see that paid in defensive 50, but it was probably there by the letter of the law.
It looks like it's going against Ollie Greenhill.
Yep.
And the ball's going to go the way of Dan Sharrock, who can put the Magpies in front, Monty, despite the fact they've kicked so inaccurately.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely need this one. They need a little bit of reward for effort. This will be the 4th lead change, too, if he's able to put this one through. So hasn't been a one team been able to take this game yet. So hopefully Wangaratta can get moving because they've had all the opportunity.
To extend them or bring the margin to 4 points and put the Pies in front. Sharrock to the Evans Street end. He likes it. The Magpies have got their second and they put the lead out to 4 points. A much-needed goal for Wangaratta, capitalising on their dominance on the inside 50s for 40 winks.
Thanks, Gussie. So the inside 50s are a real concern for Wodonga. You just get the feeling, I know it's one goal, but they're holding on for dear life. They've upped 16 inside 50s, Wangaratta to Wodonga's 8. So really asserting their dominance. On the back of a really good display by Jackson Clark in the middle. He's up to the 5 touches. Really even output by Sharrock, and Cam Barrett's up to 6 as well. Wodonga need to get it in the hands of their really prime ball movers as well. Baker, he's up to 6. Ollie Greenhill's had the 4. He just gave away the free kick, and Sorochinski in the back line as well.
You'd love to be a midfielder to Knowles and Moore in the ruck because they're just dominating these hits. I reckon that's what it feels like down here anyway.
Wodonga are still finding a way to stay in this game though, boys. I think Wangaratta have got a few more gears to click into, but the Dogs are hanging on. Barrett's kick was poor. Anderson happy to provide a decoy out of bounds right in front of Monty for Waters. So Josh Mayfield. Low chiselling kick, works out okay. And a really solid Wangaratta defence starting to stack up here, forcing the Dogs to kick long down the line. The dual stick makes a good contest. Coming through is Kitching. And it's out of bounds for a boundary throw in. Dan Vaccaro, give me some 40 winks, my friend.
Well, the one person that's really playing his guts out for Wodonga at the moment is Josh Matthew. He's had the 9 touches this quarter. He's been fantastic, especially in the middle of the ground where Wang is dominating. He's really trying to get driving forward.
So boundary throw in right in front of our broadcast position. A shout out to the Magpies. who have fixed up the bird box to be one of the best commentary positions in the competition. It's great to have your company here on O&M Live. First quarter for A-grade oils and batteries. Nice tackle applied there by Clark. Bit of action here. Bordingyong tries to shovel a handball away across half forward. Umpire says we'll have a restart. 50 metres out from the Dogs' goal. Monty for Waters.
Yeah, Ollie Greenhill is the guy that ends up on the bottom of the pack a lot, isn't he? He just gets in there and tries his heart out for Wodonga, and he's done that so far in this first quarter.
27 minutes gone for Maccas. Can't be long left in the first term. Baker kicks towards centre half forward. It's a dangerous kick. A whistle, free kick. It's going to go the way of the Wangaratta Magpies for a hold. Looks like that one's going to go against Brown.
I actually heard the umpire say both holding and then the other umpires paid it, so he obviously had a different view to the other umpire.
Melksham ran a hell of a long way and he ran too far. Talk us through that one, Monty.
Yeah, he probably did run too far, but one umpire was calling play on, and again, the umpire from out of zone decided to call it, so he probably ran about 25 metres.
Brown kicks inside forward. The siren beats him. And at quarter time here at the Normans Oval, the Wangaratta Showgrounds, the scoreboard reads the Wangaratta Magpies 2-4-16 to the Dogs 2 straight 12, thanks to Paulie's Corner Cafe on O&M Live. It was a bit of a seesaw and an arm wrestle in the first term, and I'm sure both coaches will have a lot to say at the first break. We'll take that break. On the other side, we'll bring you the latest from the huddles with Scott Montgomery for Waters. You're listening to O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
Hands-on.
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Twelve goals in the first term to Will O'Keefe and Dan Sharrock for the Wangaratta Magpies, whilst for the Dogs it was Adam Jorgensen and Nick Hines. We're going to go boundary side very shortly to our man Scott Montgomery, thanks to Watters. And there's a bit of heat in this game, Monty, despite the fact there's not too many here at the Normins.
Not many here, but the intensity level on the ground is fantastic, and they're playing their hearts out both sides. Just listen to Ben Reid. He was just talking that they're playing a spare man in front of him, and they just need to make sure that they try and kick around him rather than trying to kick it on Reid's head, maybe kick a shorter one and then go to Reid, so it draws that spare out of line. So they're just not happy with their ball movement. While Wodonga, they're pretty happy with the intensity they've shown. Just need to make sure that they clean up their ball use instead of blazing away to those Wangaratta defenders that drop off so well that we all know they do.
Monty, conditions, particularly underfoot, as the dew starts to set in here under lights.
It's actually probably a bit better than what it was at the start of the game, I reckon. Gussie, there's a little bit of a drizzle, but not much, not enough to really get you wet. But the ground's in great nick, mate. I reckon it'll be fantastic conditions to be playing.
Dan Vaccaro on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Thanks, Gussie. A really good quarter, really interesting quarter of footy from both teams. I thought Wodonga, when they had their players around the footy, they're really good players. Josh Mathy, 9 touches. He was fantastic. Angus Baker still had his 7, but the polish that Wangaratta had was fantastic, especially by Dan Sharrock. He had 6 touches and kicked a goal. Cam Barrett off the half-back line. He's had a really good start to the year at his new club as well. He's had the 6 touches. Luke Saunders getting involved late, and Cal Moore as well, looking very dangerous around that 50, Gus.
I don't know if he got lost or sick or something, but Blake Panterescott joins us on O&M Live. Hello, old mate.
Hello, Gus. I've been watching the Bombers. I'm not sure if you've seen the score, boys, but I've been off watching the Bombers. We're up by 42 points, Gussie.
Part-time Panda.
Part-time Panda, and I'll tell you what, Panda's just got a sense of confidence about the Bombers that I just struggle to find. I just really lack the ability you have to support our football club.
Well, I tell you what, if this is a big scalp, Melbourne. This is a really big scalp. I'm guessing we're going to hold on. There's only about 14 minutes left and we're up by 40 points. So I've been watching that, and now I thought I'd come in and help you guys out. What do you reckon, Gussie?
Well, the Bombers are asked to play every game in Adelaide now.
I think so. Gather round's great.
For Wangaratta Motor Group, welcome Blake Panterescott to O&M Live.
Thank you very much, Gussie. Let's see how I fit into this second quarter as Chris Knowles
give me a chop out.
Gets the first clearance forward for the Magpies. A good ball game, though. And they take a lead into this second quarter. On the far side there, they flick it backwards. Anderson, dangerous kick across goals. It's going to work out here for Knowles. It clean bowled him straight through his legs. Jet Cassidy gets around him. His kick was smothered. Bailey Griffiths at half for the Dogs. Hands it back to Mathy under great pressure. And the Magpies win a free kick for holding the ball on true centre half back. We have played 30 seconds in this second quarter, and we're doing it for Wangaratta Motor Group.
I thought you were meant to call the whole quarter. Isn't that how it works?
Well, probably, Gussie.
Here's a go for the Magpies. Coming down the broadcast side wing, McVeigh and Tom Johnson. That's a like-for-like matchup if ever I've seen one. Greenhill.
Ooh.
And we'll just cross to you, Monty, very shortly. Looks like a few boys have hit the velodrome as Kitchen kicks inside 50 in the Hines direction. Out of bounds, or I should say the Wilding direction. Out of bounds for a boundary thrown in the pocket for the Dogs.
Yeah, Mitch Zanine just took a real good tumble on the gutter of the velodrome and it's hurt his elbow, landed on the elbow very hard. And
he's still down on the haunches.
Comes straight off the ground, boys, so hopefully nothing too major.
Alrighty, so we've played around a minute on the Macca's time clock. The Wangaratta Magpies leading by 4 points, 16-12. Greasy conditions, you'd probably say, here at the Normins Oval. Jorgensen already kicked one in that first quarter. Hands it off, gets it to Wilding. It's almost holding the ball, not sure he disposed of it. Jorgensen gets it again, quick snap on goal, and it's through for a minor score. So the Dogs owning a bit of territory here in the second term. 2-1-13, their first blemish of the day. The Magpies 2-4-16. That's on the CMV truck and bus scoreboard.
2 minutes gone for Maccas on O&M Live. Scott Montgomery's boundary side for Waters. Dan Vaccaro on the 40-wing stat sheet. Blake Pander-Escott for the Old Town and Country Tavern and myself, Gus McLeod. Continuous coverage in O&M Live this evening. A good win to the Albury Tigers in the first game. A 3-point ball game here at the Normans Oval. At fullback, the Wangaratta Magpies have the footy. They kick out towards the Ovens River side of the ground. Little chiselling kick's a good one. Finds the Morris medalist from 2021. Moore. Whistle goes. Umpire calls him to play on. Kicks down the wing. It's a nice looking kick. McVeigh marks at true centre wing. Ovens River side of the ground. The Dogs have numbers, so McVeigh's forced to retreat. Goes to half back to Barrett. And Barrett retreats to centre half back. Finds Grossman.
So the full switch is on. They've done it the Pies. Van Berlo, left half back. Now they want to go aggressive in the middle of the ground. They find Saunders. Oh, that's almost 50.
That is 50. That is 50.
Monty down there on the boundary for Waters. That was against Wilson, who came in very late. Saunders out to Barrett, racking up the 40 wings disposals. Barrett goes out really wide, and I think Clark's pulled down a wonderful mark. He has indeed. A Mawson's concrete mark of the day contender. He kicks it inside forward 50, looking for Reed. Comes late. Warner's quick snap to the middle. Morrison picks it up. Moore tries to grab him. And the Dogs look like they're going to exit defensive lines through Mar. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full and it's going to come straight back, Monty. Good forward heat there by the Pies.
Yeah, that's it. They did it in the first quarter where they were able to camp the ball inside their half for a long period. They're just going to make sure they get reward for effort in this second quarter when they can keep it down there.
The Magpies to the hot spot. Well done, Morrison. Massive fish. Spud Frawley will be proud of that one.
Golden Fist. Is that what they say on the bounce? The Golden Fist Award?
Coming with a couple of bangs. And Charlie Morrison, that one goes out of bounds for a boundary throw in deep in the pocket, favouring the Magpies. We've played 4 minutes. Macca's time clock. Second quarter action for Wangaratta Motor Group. At the under lights at the Normans Oval. Bailey Griffiths falconed it out of the ruck, but it works out okay up towards centre half back. The Magpies have a wall of numbers. Grossman. Little chip kick out towards half forwards, okay. Melksham's got the Sharon in hand. Not many options present. Umpire calls him to play on. Wants to kick in towards the pocket. 2-on-1. Too strong, Calmore.
Wow.
Beat 2 Dogs, and he'll go back and have a set shot 30 metres out slide angle.
Yeah, 2 of the bigger Dogs too in Bailey Griffiths and O'Sullivan. Just too good there. Calmore is a dangerous target, and they definitely need to take their opportunities. 3 or 4 inside 50s in a row. They need to make sure they go back and slot a goal here.
It was the meat and the sandwich between Morrison and Griffiths, and he found a way to have the ball land in his lap. Calmore. It's going to be a measured approach, kicking to the club room's end. Proved inaccurate last week. Let's hope he can redeem himself. Calmore to the club room's end. As he just snuck it in, goal umpire goes to the middle and gives
Look at the Dogs, fellas, Gussie.
2-finger salute.
Wow.
Geez, that was a build-up if ever I've seen one. And Calmore's kicked his first. The Pies, they've got 3. It's on the CMV truck and bus scoreboard. 22 plays 13.
Really positive start to the quarter here by Wangaratta boys. They've gone the 3 repeat inside 50s. Really starting to dominate this game, Calmore. He's up to the 6th touch now. He's finished with that goal there. Although a little bit controversial by the looks of it, but he's really starting to assert his dominance. And Cam Barrett, boys, at his new club off the half-back line. He's been fantastic. He's up to the 9 touches. Looks really calm and collected down there.
What do you reckon, Mont? That looks like the Anthony Rocker sort of, Collingwood goal from about 2003. Controversy down there.
Yeah, all Wodonga umpires are pointing at the post. I don't know if they pointed at the post or went on this side of the post, but the goal umpire did a lot of work, so it was obviously very close.
You remember the Anthony Rocker moment in the grand final, Gussie?
I was in nappies in 2003,
You probably were. A big shout out to the old man, Jim.
He'll be tuning in.
He will be. So the Magpies 22, the Dogs 13, and here they go forward once again in the long sleeves. Murray Waite just chips it to the hot spot. Moore kicked the last one, got a little nudging kick out. Will it stay in play there for Smith? Smith does well to keep it in. Clark, banana from the boundary. McVeigh. The ball must be greasy. Spilt what he should have taken 20 metres out directly in front. All of a sudden, it's in the forward pocket. Players pounce on this pill, and we're going to have a ball up, tied up against the boundary. Inside forward 50 here for the Magpies. They lead by 9 points. Here's Gus McLeod for the Old Town and Country Tavern.
Get the man some grippo, I dare say. Griffiths in the ruck, taps this one down, pinballs around 15 metres from goal, favouring the Magpies. On hands and knees, multiple players. Umpire should ball this one up deep in the pocket, and that he does.
Really starting to assert their dominance here, Wang boys. They're up to the 4 inside 50s now on the clock. Cam Barrett, Cal Moore, all getting their hands on the footy early.
7 minutes gone for Maccas. Moore out of the ruck from the boot. To the near side for a minor score. Just trying to spark some life into this contest. The Magpies extend the lead to 10 points, 3-5 to 2-1. Thanks to CMV Truck and Bus. Panda for the Old Town and Country. The Dogs have got the footy at centre half-back.
They do. It's Jorgensen. Liked his couple of weeks, Monty. He's building in 2023.
He is, isn't he? And that's why he's on the 40-wing stat sheet tonight. We know that he gets it a lot and uses it quite well as well.
Like the look of this guy as well. It's Jack O'Sullivan, the boy from Koroit, premiership player in the Hampton League. They build him tough down there. Van Berlo couldn't mark on centre wing. Like that matchup as well against the dual stick. Lots of players around this footy on the Ovens River side of the Normins Oval. True centre wing. We got a ball up, Gus McLeod.
No, it's just stick these days,
The
Panda.
stick.
It's just stick. Yeah, so dual sticks become just stick.
Him and Josh Matthew were proving to be quite a duo at Public House last Saturday night.
What were you doing out?
Oh, that's a great question. So there's a free kick and advantage here to the Magpies. Everybody stopped. They go back inside 50. Reed, juggling attempt, not able to mark it. Here is O'Sullivan. Dangerous kick back in the middle of the ground. In fact, it was Driscoll. And now it's in the hands of Casey Marr for the Dogs. And he goes out towards Sorochinski.
Got an overlap run up. Wants to use him. Morrison kicks long down the line. It's a good-looking kick up towards the stick. Sammy Jewell left it behind. Support arrives. The Wangaratta Magpies prevail. Grossman with clean hands goes back inside defensive 50. Boarding-Yong. Dangerous kick.
Oh.
Dangerous kick to the top of the square. The Magpies have numbers. Here's a go for Norton. Handballs over the top towards Melksham. Goes by hand. Sharrock for the Magpies across half-back. Inboard to Smith. Smith kicks in towards the centre of the ground and he's found Murray Waite.
So Murray Waite bangs smack in the middle of the Normins. Goes out towards the right half-forward flank. Clark in a one-on-one contest. I reckon Clark's given away a free kick down there to Andrews, Monty.
Yeah, just grabbed him at the last minute and pushed him to ground. So good decision there by the umpire.
So the Magpies 3-5 over the Dogs. 2 goals, 1. We have played around 8 minutes here on the Maccas time clock. Second quarter action here for Wangaratta Motor Group. So the Dogs dangerously try and exit defence. All asked a lot of miles. Jewell took a good mark. And they exit through Driscoll. Dan Vaccaro for 40 winks.
Yeah, boys, really positive start here by Wang to this quarter. Wodonga just trying to work their way back into it. They got to get their hands in the footy of Josh Matthews. He's only had the 1 touch this quarter.
Wilson, nicely to Marr. Sells a bit of candy. Kicks inside forward 50 to the hot spot. Free kick.
Oh.
Monty, talk us through this for Waters.
Well, I don't know what he's paid it for because it was a littlest bump.
Oh, he's played a swinging arm by the looks of it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So it's a downfield free kick to the
Don't know
Dogs.
about that, boys.
And it looks like, is it going to be Joel Heiner with ball in hand?
He's got the ball in hand, but Hines, yeah, are you surprised? Nick Hines just wanders in and gets a cheap one.
He wasn't even in the vicinity.
He was in the
Gus?
goal square, I reckon, boys. I reckon he was in the goal square, but Hines, knows how. He's a forward. He's a full forward from way back.
And Joel Heiner, having played with him last year at Dedderang, that'd be no surprise to Joel. Nick Hines to the Evans Street end. He's already kicked 1.
What are you trying to say, Gus?
I'm just saying he knows how the Hig rolls. The Hig kicks on goal, and the Hig likes it. Nick Hines has kicked 2. The Dogs respond, and all of a sudden it's back to a 4-point ball game for CMV Truck and Bus.
Really, really good finish there by Nick Hines, boys. He was a dead-eye dick in the Tlangata League for Dedderang, and he's had 2 disposals tonight on the 40-wing stat sheet for 2 goals. He has been really dangerous up forward in all seriousness, boys. Good to see that they're getting some reward for effort with Wodonga. They've gone inside forward 53 times, and it's on the back of Jorgensen, who's playing really well. Sorochinski and Ollie Greenhill getting involved this quarter too, Panda.
Only needs 5 kicks a game, Monty, but he makes you pay, Hinesy.
Yeah, he does. It'd be nice if he touched it a bit more, but
up to 2 40-wings disposals.
2 goals, boys.
2 goals, 2 kicks. Who
that
cares?
One doesn't count. He didn't earn that one.
We love you, Hig.
23-19. So the Magpies lead. About halfway through this second quarter, the Dogs just force it forward. They tap it up towards Jorgensen. He's pounced on by Sharrock. And we've got a ball up, say 55 metres out from Wodonga's goal. Second quarter action for Wangaratta Motor Group here on 2AY and 3E's O&M Live. Ball up, like that contest between Knowles and Griffiths. Murray Waite, his hand pass was too fierce for Knowles. Going in there, Cassidy on hands and knees, finds the way of Andrews, wants his left foot. And the Dogs back into attack. Coming late there was the stick at ground level. Heiner's there as well. Wilding, no one wanted to pick up the football. And it's over the boundary line. We'll have it tossed back into play 20 metres around from the Dogs' goal. They're trailed by 4 points in this second quarter.
Around the grounds, thanks to our good friends at Wangaratta Motor Group. You won't wipe the smile off the two callers' faces tonight. The Dons lead 104 to the D's, 77, 2 minutes to go in the final term. And I'll request the transfer for the club to move to Adelaide if we play that well at the Adelaide Oval every week, Pand. Free kick and a whistle, holding the footy inside forward 50. The Dogs are going to win a free kick here. And it looks like it's going to go the way of Angus Baker, Monty.
Yeah, he does it all, doesn't he, boys? That was a great tackle there. He just took Sharrock straight to ground, and great decision by the umpire to pay holding the ball.
A big shout out to the crew listening at Port Campbell this evening, Panda. At 20 of them tuning in this evening. And they'll be cheering on, of course, Jack O'Sullivan from Koroit, that part of the world. And a man from another part of the world that is also very cold is Angus Baker. And he's got the footy in hand, the boy from Canberra. To the Evans Street end for back-to-back goals to the Dogs. He's got it. And the Dogs hit the lead by 2 points. Back-to-back goals for Wodonga. And Angus Baker is just starting to work his way into this contest. Second quarter action for Wangaratta Motor Group.
Yeah, you said it, Gus. Great finish there by Angus Baker. I was just literally about to put my foot in it and say that they've nullified his influence a little bit to start this quarter. That was only his second touch, and it would have been his ninth touch and a goal for the game now. So really good mini comeback from Wodonga. They're starting to build up the inside 50, so they're up to 4 now. So really positive signs here by Wodonga.
He's hitting the scoreboard, Monty, in season 2023. Baker, that's his 4th for the year.
Yeah, he does it all, doesn't he? He racks them up and he puts the pressure on, but he also finishes his work when he gets inside 50. So that's what classy players do.
Just love the fact that he's resting forward this year in 2023. He's a dangerous asset, as we've seen. So the Dogs are back in front by 2 points, and they're going to go back inside forward 50 again through Greenhill. Who's down there? Where's the stick? Falls the way of Cassidy. Snaps for a Sunjan goal today. The Dogs have got 3. A wonderful finish by Jet Cassidy, the youngster. Big raps in the pre-season, and they're out to a 9-point lead here on O&M Live.
How good a footy is that? Out of the centre, straight there, and what a crumbing goal by Jet Cassidy. Just got to the right spot of the big boys and put it straight through. We're not getting a reward for effort here that Wangaratta weren't quite able to do in the first quarter.
Fantastic finish by Jet Cassidy. A steal on goal of the day contender, if you don't mind me saying so, boys. Really, really tidy finish. And Wodonga just really starting to assert their dominance, which has sort of come out of nowhere a little bit, but they're starting to win that midfield battle, and it's put them right back on top.
So an 8-point margin, the biggest lead the Dogs have held at the 14.5-minute mark, thanks to Maccas. Driscoll's gone into the ruck, left the football behind. Coming through here was Saunders. Good to have him back playing O&M footy after a stint at Corowa. It's Dan. Shovels it out towards Ma. The Magpies have numbers. Benny Bray back at the club from a season at Catamatite. Out towards the broadcast wing. Johnson gets it towards Mayfi. Luke Saunders. Pole drives his way into Wilding. The Magpies have numbers. Ooh. And coming through beautiful with a big fist is Liam Andrews. And Jackson Clark just gives him a little bit of attention on the way through. And McVeigh
and he's sucked him in.
And that was well called, Monty. Johnson sucked in McVeigh. I thought McVeigh was a bit clumsy there. He pumps the footy deep inside forward 50, reads the target. They drop like dominoes inside forward 50. Keeping his feet was Heiner. Going to have to be clean here as Johnson. He exits. He finds the co-captain in Greenhill, who kicks long down the line.
Yeah, shallow kick. Didn't get too far off the ground at all. Wilding made a contest. Clark's on hands and knees. Maythi goes in tough. Unlucky not to win a free kick here. This is good footy. Players piling in, and we've got a ball up in between, well, the middle of the ground and half forward here for the Wangaratta Magpies. Broadcast side, 23 plays 31. The Dogs lead here in this second quarter. We're doing it for Wangaratta Motor Group. The last 3 of this ball game. Beautiful ruck work there from Knowles. Tried to find his teammate there in O'Keefe. We've got a boundary throw in, and we'll go down to you, Monty, on the boundary for Waters.
Yeah, just a bit of a scrap here, boys, as we can see now. As the rain is starting to get a little bit heavier. I think the ball might stay on the deck a little bit more leading into this second half.
Monty, can you chase up who won the meat raffle, mate? I bought about $40 worth of tickets, so wouldn't mind taking home the half a lamb.
They read the number out and said it wasn't Angus.
We never win it.
We never win it. We never know who wins it because we're always calling
it's not us.
Heiner. Fresh airy the footy. Sorochinski comes through for the Dogs across half back. Throws it on the left boot. Gains about 20 metres. Sits inside the field of play. Andrews tracks it to the boundary line with a boundary throw in. Just favouring the Wangaratta Magpies across half forward.
really, really positive comeback here by Wodonga. It might actually suit them a little bit in these conditions with Matey and Ollie Greenhill under every single pack. It's really going to be an intriguing second half, Panda.
16 minutes played. Macca's time clock. Second quarter for Wangaratta Motor Group. And the Dogs leading by 8 points. O'Sullivan in his own defensive 50. Sorosinski on hands and knees. Sullivan, his kick was smothered and actually worked in the favour of the Magpies. Cassidy, I think it was, in fact, Jewel tried to claim the mark. Andrews, lovely left foot. Finds Matey. His 40 winks, please, Dan Vaccaro.
This will be his 11th now, Panda.
Starting to find the pill. Goes inboard to Driscoll. Loved his move across half-back as well. Used the ball well for a big fella. So the Dogs want to switch the footy to the broadcast side. Not a great exit. Casey Marr has to do a lot of work. And the Magpies see it over the boundary line. Will have it tossed back into play in front of Monty for Waters.
Yeah, that's it, boys. Really good pressure there by Wang just to make sure they didn't get a clean exit. The Bulldogs just kept it along the ground and then brought it out. So they'll get a repeat stoppage where they've been on top at the moment.
7.5 gone for Maccas. The Pies lead this one, or trail this one, I should say. 31 plays 23, thanks to CMV Truck and Bus. Boundary throw in true centre wing broadcast side. As Michael Newton, the laid out, hands the football to the boundary umpire. We'll have a restart. So a little bit of a crowd building in front of us here on a dark, cold night at the Norm Minns Oval. 18 minutes gone for Maccas. Griffiths wins the tap, palms it down towards ground level. Heiner left it behind. Ball comes back to Baker, who throws it on the boot up towards half forward. Wilding, he had a crack at the dice. He missed it. Shoveling through towards Melksham on hands and knees. Support arrives via Sharrock. He stands and waits, and the umpire says, give it here, boys. We'll throw the football up across half forward, favouring the Dogs Panda broadcast side of the Norm Minns Oval.
Earlier game here on R&M Live on 201, 3 and 8 was Albury too good for Myrtleford. And here in the night game, back-to-back R&M Live coverage, the Dogs, they lead by 8. Jorgensen, they go back inside forward 50. Spills the way of Cade Brown, dribbling kick. Look at the Hines pick up. Wasn't all that great. Left it behind. Melksham in the long sleeve. Hines goes in there, flicks it out to Cassidy. Here's a chance for Wilding. Snaps on goal. He had more time. Costly miss. And the Dogs, 5-2-32. The Magpies, 3-5-23. We've played 19 minutes in this second quarter. That's on the Macca's time clock. You'd expect Wilding to finish that, Monty.
Yeah, normally he's a very good kick at goal, and that one, he just probably rushed it a little bit. A bit more, not as much pressure around him as what he probably thought.
Bit of rain starting to fall, Monty, for Waters.
Yep, as I said, it's getting a little bit heavier. It's probably not quite rain. It's still just spitting at the moment.
It's been threatening for the best part of the last 3 hours, Gussie.
Pretty dry up here at commentary level. Sharrock, ball in hands. Chiseling kick towards Smith. Across right half back. It's a very congested 50 metres that awaits him. So he switches the football back towards centre half back into Grossman hands, who kicks out wide, trying to find Fraser Ellis. It's quite dark when the football hits to the far side of the ground, Panda.
Put the glasses on.
I've got the glasses, mate. Don't worry about it. I've got the binoculars, even better. As Jackson Clark tracks this football to the boundary line. Out of bounds for a boundary throw in. 32 plays 23, favouring the Dogs on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard.
The Dogs are really putting forward some positive signs here. They're up for the fight. They're up for the midfield battle. Matey and Josh Matey and Angus Baker, Ollie Greenhill, all those guys are getting their hands on the footy, boys.
Big shout out to the Wang Magpies and the beautiful new renovations here in the Bird Box as well at the Norm Minns Oval.
It's no longer the Bird Box,
Nope,
man.
It is the best box, that's for sure. Angus Baker picks it up, goes inside forward 50. Wilding in a one-on-one between Grossman. Grossman does well, just finds a hand pass to Saunders. He's going to want his left foot. Goes with the don't argue, but it was a great tackle there by the Dogs. Falls the way of Melksham. He wants to take a bounce on centre wing. Goes to half forward. And a great mark almost down there by Deneen. Hollandine down there. Murray Wade, he's dangerous. Shovels a hand pass back to Sharrock, who calmly goes inside forward 50 to Hollandine. And he's going to line up 45 metres out in a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, good ball movement. Once the ball hit the deck there, that was first there, Wangaratta. And this, instead of blazing away to the big targets, they just found Hollandine, who was just floating around, got out the back of the pack. So really smart by Hollandine and by the kick inside 50.
Great kick by Dan Sharrock, up to 11 touches on the 40-wing stat sheet too, boys.
Just makes good decisions, Dan Sharrock, all the time. So Hollandine will take his best effort here in the wet. Kick on goal. It's probably not going to make the distance. I think it actually bounced on the boundary line. It's gone out of bounds for a throw in. All right, so 5 metres around for the Maggies goal. They trailed this contest by 9 points. 32 plays 23. 21 minutes gone on the Macca's time clock in this second quarter.
Just a quick injury update, boys. Michael Wodonga's come off, just getting his thumb checked out. So I think they're going to tape it and try and get him back out there. But it'd be a massive loss if he can't get back out there and not 100% right.
Deep in the second term for Wangaratta Motor Group. It goes out of bounds for another boundary throwing. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Thanks, Gussie. Dan Sharrock, as I said before, boys, he's up to the 11 touches, and Jackson Clark's up to the 8 as well. He's been really handy for Wang Magpies. They're going to need to probably take it up another gear in the second half with Wodonga coming at them.
Boundary throw-in. The Dogs kicking to the Magpies kicking to the club room's end, I should say. Here's a go for Wilson. Just clears defensive lines for the Wangaratta Magpies. High up and under. Heiner made a contest, got a fist on it, and pushed to the ground was Mark Anderson, who's been quiet by his standards. He gets up a little bit ginger with a boundary throw-in right in front of our broadcast position here on O&M Live. The Dogs lead 5-2-32 to the Pies, 3-5-23. It's on the C&V Truck and Bus scoreboard.
Mark Anderson's probably got sore calves from cramping for 3 quarters last week, boys.
Murray Waite goes long inside forward 50. Reed caught out the back. The Dogs under pressure. We've got a whistle. I think it's a high free kick against McVeigh, and it's to the way of Tommy Johnston for the Dogs. They switch to the Ovens River side of the ground. They're on here if it sits for Soroczynski. He's got a paddock in front of him. Soroczynski, long inside forward 50. Have they transitioned the footy well to Baker? Just dropped it at the last minute. Wilding goes back in there. It hands to Baker. He gets around one, and he snaps on goal, and it's across the face. Angus Baker missing once again. And the Dogs wasting a couple of chances. 33 plays 23. Time on in this second quarter. Dan Vaccaro for 40 winks.
Yeah, Angus Baker, boys. He's up to the 8th touch and he's had 15 for the game, so he's starting to really assert his dominance on this game. Wangaratta really need to get out of jail free card here.
They certainly do. 23 minutes gone, Macca's time clock. The football went over towards the cricket nets, if you're familiar with the Norman's Oval. Just soaking a bit of time up. The Magpies will need it just to put a bit of choke on this game. Barrett kicks in from fullback. His 40 winks disposals, please. Danielson.
Cam Barrett's up to his 8th touch, boys.
I really like him in this Magpies outfit. They kick up towards half-back. Good contest. Flying was Andrews. The rain starts to get heavier at the Norm Mins. Inside 50 go the Dogs. Out in front. The Jewel stick. Sammy Jewel goes back and he takes the mark. 35 metres out, caught directly in front. It used to be Jewel stick, now is just stick. And he'll go back and have a set shot for the Dogs.
What a set of hands from the stick there. Just bang strong. And he's getting a little bit heavier, that rain, boys. So that ball will be getting slippery. So a really good set of hands to have this set shot.
For the biggest margin of the game, it currently sits at 10 points. Make it 16. Sammy Jewell, he's kicked his first of the night. And the Wodonga Bulldogs starting to put some assertiveness on this game. They're really starting to kick away, Mont.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just starting to hit the scoreboard, what we spoke about in the first quarter. Wangaratta just weren't quite able to take the advantage of their dominance they had, whereas Wodonga have. Every time they've gone inside 50, they've looked dangerous and they've hit the scoreboard.
You're absolutely right, Monty. And on a night, that's huge for Jewel on a night where it's not actually great for big forwards. There's only been 5 marks inside forward 50s from both teams. So that's a really important goal. And Wodonga are starting to kick away, boys.
Kick the last 4 in this ball game, Wodonga, to lead by 16 points. Under lights here at the Normans, the only night game for 2023. The Magpies need the next. They'd love to pinch a late one heading into half-time. They're 50 out from home. Lots of players around this greasy ball. McVeigh tried to get a little toe poke. Spills out to Ellis. He picks it up, bangs it on the boot. Who's down there? 1-on-1 contest between Moore and Morrison. Will it stay in for Moore? He tries to slap it back into play. Morrison dangerously kept it alive across the last line of defence, and they're out on the Ovens River side of the ground through Wilson.
Oh, dangerous kick. Too many Magpies around that footy. They've got a chance here to get the ball inside 50. Here's a go for Ellis. Feeds it out wide. The Magpies go inside 50 via Warner. Trying to find Smith. Not the best kick. Boundary throw-in 25 metres out from the Magpies goal.
It's not the inside 50, boys. It's a concern for Wang. They're up to 14 this quarter, and Wodonga have only had the 9. You wouldn't think it, but they're really starting to win the battle here, Wodonga, and Wang just can't get the score on the board.
It's more the use going inside 50. I think Vax, they're just going a bit cute, not trying to go around that spare of Wodonga, but they just probably need to get at the big boys and let them bring it to the ground.
Johnson being superb for the Dogs. High up and under clears defensive lines up towards true centre wing. Does it sit favourably for the Dogs? It doesn't. Hines provides some support. Brown comes through on Melksham. Big Nosey for the Magpies. Gets his hands on the footy. Kicks inside 50. Decent kick. McVeigh comes through. Support arrives to the Dogs via Griffiths. And we'll ball the footy up. The Dogs lead by 16 points on O&M Live. 26 minutes gone. Macca's time clock.
Kicked the last 4 goals of this ball game. There's a ball up inside 50 here for the Wangaratta Magpies. Must be almost 30 blokes around this pill. Good don't argue there from Wilson. Finds Baker. They try to flick it around. Brown goes down the line. Through the hands of Hines. The Magpies pick it up and go back inside 50. And what a mark that is from McVeigh. He's probably too far out to score here in the wet. Interesting option. Switches the ball. It's been dropped there by Ellis at half forward. And the Dogs, they march back here with numbers. White picks it up. Little left foot kick down the line. And it sits and finds a teammate here in Bordenyom. He's too far out to score. Low chiseling kick inside forward 50. Not a great one. Jorgensen lending a hand here for the Dogs, and they exit through Driscoll.
And the kick from Driscoll, superb, Monty, for Waters.
Yeah, I think Mark Anderson's done an ankle here, boys. He's limping off pretty badly, so I don't know if he'll be able to get back out there.
Get you to keep an eye on that one, Monty. Really bad signs for the Magpies, who are struggling to adapt to the wet weather conditions for consecutive weeks, but this might work out okay. It's turned over once again. The Dogs want to kick towards Johnson deep in the pocket, who marks. 27 minutes gone. Macca's time clock. Kitching takes a mark across half-back for the Wodonga Bulldogs. They want to play methodical football here as we edge towards half-time. Kitching long down the line to a 2-on-1. Van Berlo will give away a free kick here. And it's going to go the way. Has he not paid the free kick?
That's a shocking call.
I have no idea what that free kick's been paid for.
I think they've paid that out on the full, boys, when it probably should have been a Wodonga block.
Well, the siren probably come through at a good time. Blake Panderesco on O&M Live.
Certainly. What a quarter by the Wodonga Bulldogs, though. 5-1. Hines, Baker, Cassidy and Jewell, and they now take a 16-point lead into the half-time break here at the Norm Minns Oval. 39 plays, 23. The Dogs lead. And on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? and meditation? One for sport and one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTafe is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTafe is the place for you.
GoTafe is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on.
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
And I tell you what, it's been the forwards. Heinze up there, he's kicked 2 goals. Jorgensen, I reckon, has almost been one of their best players. And I've loved the game of Matty Wilson. You said so far, Monty is almost probably your player of the day so far.
Yeah, we spoke about it off air, didn't we? I think he's been fantastic, Matty Wilson. He's getting all over the ground. He's doing a lot more in the middle at the moment. And then he's also helping me out going behind the footy and then also...
As I said, Matt Wilson's not on mine, but he has been unbelievable today as well.
Might have to be next time we have Wodonga game.
He's banging down the door, I'll tell you, boys. But I'll tell you what, some of the players for Wodonga have been fantastic. We talk about Angus Baker. He probably hasn't had that real obvious game, but I think it's more so to do with the fact that the players around him have just been really good. Ollie Greenhill, he's only had the 8 touches, but I actually really liked his game. He's under the bottom of every back. The conditions suit him to an absolute T as well. He's there with 8 touches. Matt Soroczynski's actually been really handy off halfback as well. Josh Maythew, I reckon's been one of the best. He's only had 11 touches as well, but he just looks really, really hard inside that midfield. Adam Jorgensen as well, that Panda called out earlier. He has been fantastic with 11 touches, and Nick Hines has kicked 2 goals from 2 touches, boys. So So
I tell you what,
look
he
out for
rates
him.
himself down on the bench too. He had a fair strut going on when he came to the bench a couple of times.
Don't know what for. But
Yeah,
anyway.
the Hig does not mind it one bit.
And then on Wang's side, I think some of their players just need to get involved with a little bit earlier. Dan Sharrock has probably been one of their best. He's had 11 touches. He looks clean with the footy. He probably looks a little bit better than most.
He's probably the best player on Good Friday too, so he's just following that game up.
He's in a really good purple patch of form. Jackson Clark, he's had 9 touches, no real amazing output. Cam Barrett's been really good off half back. Luke Saunders, very little output. He's had 8 touches, but it sort of hasn't nullified his influence at all. And Cal Moore probably looks one of their most dangerous. He's had the 8 touches, and I believe he's kicked 1 goal as well.
He has.
Yeah.
So really interesting. But as I said, the inside 50 is the most damning thing, that they have no problems going forward, but their ball use going forward is poor, especially compared to Wodonga's.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on there, as we spoke about a couple of times. Just the ball movement, probably more so than the ball use as well. They're going a little bit short, trying to kick around the defence, not trying to take it on through the middle, whereas Wodonga, wherever they are, they're just trying to get forward as quick as they can.
Yeah.
They don't try and transition the footy side to side as much, and they're just taking it on, which I think is giving them good inside 50s, deep inside 50s. And in that quarter, we saw a lot of one-on-ones, which is not the way Wangaratta like to set up their defence. They like to have roll-off defenders in Bordingong and Van Berlo who'll get off their man early and help out in the air. But at the moment, they're just moving the ball that quick and that well that they're not able to do that in the defence.
It's been a greasy night. It's been sort of constantly spitting for the best part of the last 3 hours. It's probably intensified and picked up over the past 30 or 40 minutes. So it's not the best night for forwards. But how have you seen the O'Sullivan and Morrison matchups against Reid and Moore?
They're on top. I think O'Sullivan's been fantastic. He's made it look like a dry footy every time it's come near him. He's taken grabs, and Morrison hasn't had to do a hell of a lot. I don't think they've got it deep enough for him to do a lot, but what he has done has been pretty good, and he just stands up every time in a one-on-one. Charlie Morrison doesn't get beaten too often, and when he does, he's definitely made the forward earn it.
Yeah, Monty hit the nail on the head, and I just want to chime in with that Jack O'Sullivan. He has got massive raps at Wodonga. They absolutely love him. They see him as one of their better players going forward as well, playing alongside Johnson and Morrison down there.
What about Driscoll? I've liked his move down into defence as well, Monty. It's clear they want him to turn into a bit of a master, sort of float across interceptor, and he uses the ball incredibly well for a big fella also.
He does, but then he has to roll into the middle as that second ruckman, this backup ruckman, which I'd love him to stay at centre back. I think that's his spot. I'd love him to be able to find that second option, whether it's Nick Hines or whoever it might be, just the dual stick even, just someone else to help Brodie Griffiths for a chop out for 5 to 8 minutes a quarter. Because, I just feel Driscoll's so important to him behind the footy, and it helps Johnson be that roll-off third defender who can not man up for basically a whole quarter.
Yeah, spot on. And I think once Bailey Griffiths gets into his groove a little bit in this league and in the O&M, I think you're probably going to see that Driscoll slowly make that transition to a permanent back. And can help out Johnson and Morrison, and he's been really good too, Griffiths. But I think once he gets used to that league, you're going to see him down back more.
There's not too many holes in the Wodonga outfit, isn't there? I mean, you got 3 really good defenders down there now, and Driscoll, Morrison's just a superstar, and obviously, Tommy Johnson and O'Sullivan. So an incredibly good defensive unit. You go down to the forward line, you got the dual stick down there.
Just the stick now.
The stick, just the stick. That's what we like to call him. You got Heinze down there as well, and then in the midfield, you got Matey and Baker and Jorgensen and these fellas as well. So you look over the ground, and they're just incredibly even, aren't they?
Well, last year, if it wasn't for their start of the year, they probably played finals. I think the first 6 weeks they were really, really poor. And JT definitely addressed that even on air with us and said that there was a lot of things they needed to fix. They did. And their last 4 or 5 games, they just got on a roll and got flying and showed us exactly what they are. And they've carried that into this year with the addition of a few extra players. And when you got a player like Angus Baker leading the way and Josh Matey through the middle, it's really hard not to be a good side.
You really hit the nail on the head, Panda, before with that even spread of sort of on all fronts. They don't really have a weakness. I felt like that was really emphasised in the off-season with the departure of Ethan Redcliffe, because I think he really emphasised that. It was almost a one-man 50 last year in that forward line with Redcliffe.
Today, Ethan Redcliffe.
He did, and I'm not taking away anything from Redcliffe.
Against Dettering?
Yeah, against Dettering.
There you go. And he's a fantastic player in his own right, but I felt like the forward line now at Wodonga just seems to be a lot more even. You bring in Nick Hines, who, he might not have a lot of output with the ball in hand, but he kicks goals and he takes a defender off the other blokes, Jewell and Wilding.
We do joke a little bit about Nick Hines not touching the footy a lot, but I think we spoke about it in the season opener, Dan, that he's a guy that only needs to touch it 3 times. If he's kicking a goal, 2 goals a game, he's going to kick 25, 30. He plays every week. Because that's what you want. You need those forwards that can at least bring it to ground, which he normally does, and who have those couple shots on goal. And if he's kicking them like he is at the moment, he'll keep playing. He's up to, I think, 5 goals for the year in 3 games. Good start, or 2.5 games. Really good start.
Half-time for Elders Rural, Elders Insurance here at Norman's Oval, and we have the Wangaratta Magpies 3-5-23, trailing the Dogs 6-3-39. Blake Panda-Escott with you, Scott Montgomery, Dan Vaccaro and Gus McLeod will join us because the Wodonga Bulldogs have just ran on the ground. It would have been an interesting half-time huddle. More of the same, I think, from Jordan Taylor would have been the message to the troops. We're going to take a break here on O&M Live, 2AY and 3E. And on the other side of this, the third quarter between the Dogs and the Pies. And remember, on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Live on 2AY.
Third quarter action not far away from getting underway here at the Normin's Oval, all thanks to STY Metals as we hook into a couple of Normin specials. Potato cakes here in the Bird Box. We're loving it, and we're loving what the Dogs are producing here in this third quarter in this game.
Panda, who's that walking towards us?
That is
Diane.
That is Dane Porter. That is Dane Porter.
We've got his name right this time.
It was a late out today as well. The Dogs 6-3-39 over the Magpies 3-5-23. 16-point leaders as we start this third quarter. Scott Montgomery, who has now made his way down to the boundary. What are those conditions like out there at the moment, Mont?
Yeah, that rain's starting to get a little bit heavier, boys. So I'm going to try and find some cover for the rest of the game, I reckon. I don't think it's going to lighten up looking at the radar.
I reckon you found it, Monty. I reckon you're right below us.
I am.
That is
I
not the
definitely
boundary.
am.
That is not the boundary. Soft.
It's called being smart, Gus. Got wet last week, and that's enough for me. That's one for the year.
That sounds like a Monty problem.
There are brand new windows, top and bottom levels of the Bird Box. So he is just testing out the bottom windows. You know what? I call that smart from Monty, who's actually now right behind us because he's probably forgotten his pen.
Is that my pen there?
You can have a pen, mate.
Thanks, mate.
I'll throw another one.
Yeah.
Robert McKinlay, one of the great pen stealers. Dan Vaccaro, who's got a lift in this third quarter for Wangaratta if they're to get back into this contest?
Well, I think their midfield as a whole, Panda, really need to get on the footy. I guess Wodonga's midfield's holding up really well. You got the likes of Ollie Greenhill and Josh Matthew, who these conditions suit perfectly. They've had 11 and 8 touches as well, so their midfield needs to lift as a whole.
Third quarter action for STY Metals here on O&M Live across 1494 2AY and 15-663E. Gather round action between Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs to follow. Concept really quickly, boys. Gather round, yes or no?
Yes, Essendon won.
Alrighty. The
Love
third
it.
quarter, STY Metals here on O&M Live. It's the Dogs by 16. Here's Gus McLeod.
Thanks, Panda, for the Old Town and Country Tavern. Tell you what, I reckon I might roll in there tonight. More inside forward 50, gets it up towards half forward. McVeigh left it behind. The Pies are away inside forward 50. Kick from Warner. Warner goes bang. Hot start for the Pies. Mawson's concrete play of the day. Wasn't even on the team sheet, but now he's on the scorers. I'll tell you what, Panda, boys, that is a fantastic start for the Wangaratta Magpies.
22 seconds was all that took, Monty. Wow.
Yeah, how good was that? Just that ruck work again. Fantastic. Chris Knowles has been really good in there. And Cal Moore's in the middle too, so did a bit of throwing the magnets around a little bit.
Absolute nightmare start for Wodonga to the third term. That's exactly what they didn't want in the hands of Cal Moore. Early clearance and the first inside 50 of the quarter as well. Little bit concerning. Wodonga need to bite back here.
Well, they've got Murray Wade in there. They've got Knowles in there, and they've got Moore as a ruck rover. Wouldn't like to be in there if I was a dog. Alrighty, so can they respond here? The Magpies get the all-important first goal this third quarter. Barrett across half-back, runs into trouble. Look at that kick. That is a beautiful kick, broadcast side, looking for Saunders. He'll want his left foot. Goes down the line, plays the percentages. It's been marked here by Jackson Clark.
True centre wing broadcast side. 90 seconds gone in the third term for STY Metals. Clark down the line. Nice kick. Did Moore mark it? I thought he did. Umpire said didn't quite have enough of that one. Boundary thrown in front of where Monty was for Waters.
Yeah, Ollie Greenhill right there, really strong in that contest. Brought it to ground. Cal Moore's obviously got the height advantage there, so I reckon they'll try and get him forward whilst he's running through the middle.
Shout out to the girls in the Wangaratta canteen, keeping Blake Panda Escott fed tonight.
Is that his 8th potato cake, boys?
8th potato cake on the 40-wing stat sheet. Inside the centre square go the Wodonga Bulldogs. Falls the way of Jet Cassidy, who left it behind. Heiner was dispossessed of the football. O'Sullivan come through. The Magpies have numbers. Sharrick, handball didn't quite hit the target. Football just pinballs around now. Mayfield left it behind. Knowles got eye gouged. Keep an eye on him, Monty. He looks sore. Here's Murray Waite. Streams towards the 50 line. Kicks inside and a super mark. Inside defence, Tom Johnson. He's a contender at best on ground tonight, boys. He's been absolutely superb in the back line for the Dogs.
I reckon Murray Waite could have almost had a shot on goal there. Monty, there's another Magpie down in the middle of the ground.
Paddy Warner, I'm pretty sure, boys. He's just struggling to get up. I reckon he might have rolled an ankle on the cricket pitch there.
Alrighty, because Mark Anderson's already off with an injured ankle as well. So a couple of wounded Warriors here for the Magpies. Wilding goes down the line. Good mark taken by Jorgensen on the Ovens River side of the ground.
12th touch for Jorgensen on the 40-wing stat sheet too, boys.
Anderson also hasn't come back to the bench, boys, so that's a fair sign he's probably out for the day.
2 minutes played in this third quarter for STY Metals. That's on the Macca's time clock, and we've had one goal to the way of the Wangaratta Magpies. And Paddy Warner, we got a boundary thrown on the Ovens River side of the ground. 29 plays, 39. It's a 10-point lead here to the Dogs.
Third term for STY medals. Boundary throwing comes back into play. Give that one to Knowles as Baker kicks her high up and under towards half forward. Coming through is the stick, left it behind. Mayfield handballs towards a teammate in Cassidy. Cassidy kicks on goal. Not his best kick to the right-hand side for a minor score. Wodonga moved to 6-4-40. The Magpies 4-5-29. Harvey Norman betting scoreboard.
They look sharp, Wodonga. When they move the footy by hand and quick by foot, they look very sharp and probably catching the Magpies' defence on the hop a little bit with their ball movement.
You're spot on, Mon. And Josh Mayfield, he's had his second touch for the quarter, which brings him up to 13. He looks really clean. And Baker as well up to the 18 touches.
Almost 4 minutes gone on the Macca's time clock. Third quarter action here on O&M Live. The Dogs by 11 points. Barrett with a kick in. Smith flicks it back to Saunders. His exiting kick was smothered. Big tackle applied there by Sharrock. Going in there was Knowles. Hand pass it back to Grossman, who had to give it back to Knowles, and he's under a lot of pressure. His hand pass found Sharrock helping out again. This is really good forward heat here by the Dogs, who force a boundary throw in 30 metres around from their goal. Jordan Taylor would love that, Monty.
Yeah, did you see that? They took 50 metres of territory off of Wangaratta while Wangaratta had the ball, so that just shows how much pressure they were putting on them, and they just kept trying to give the handball back, and they turned it like, I'll put it in the out of bounds for a throw-in.
They're going to be a hard team to beat, Wodonga, if they bring that pressure every week, boys.
They were asleep for the first 30 seconds, but they've dominated the next 4 minutes. At half forward, Big Driscoll got a handball over the top to no one in particular. Pinballing around, ball falls the way of Heiner. His kick wasn't the best. Mayfield, did he get taken high? Umpire said no. Sharrock, whistle, free kick. It's going to go the way of Mayfield.
Yeah.
Talk us through this one, Mont, for Waters.
I reckon it was after the initial contact. Jesse Smith pushed Mayfield into the ground, so he's paid a push in the back for that by the looks of it.
That was the non-officiating umpire, I reckon, as well.
Yeah, come from the middle.
Yep, come from good 50 metres away.
Yep. Probably a little bit soft. You see that 100 times in a game, but he obviously didn't like it and trying to stamp it out straight away.
So Mayfield will have a set shot from 35, maybe 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Kick looks okay, looks on line, doesn't quite have the legs, falls just short. And Michael Bordiong assists that one through for a minor score. Wodonga 6-5-41. The Magpies 4-5-29. Thanks for Harvey Norman betting.
Josh Mayfield has been an absolute warrior today, boys. He missed that goal there, but he's had the 14 touches. He looks to be one of Wodonga's best on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Ball just camped in Wodonga's forward half here in this third quarter. We've played 5 and a bit minutes. Paddy Warner with the opening third quarter goal. Inside 20 seconds, the Dogs with all the play since. Marr and Melksham in a bit of a foot race on the Ovens River side of the ground. Moore tapped it cleverly back into play. Greenhill tried to fend off Sharrock. Oh, the umpire, was he? I thought he was going to ping him there. I thought he was going to ping him. He was definitely going to swing the arms down on the ground. We've got a ball up. True centre wing. Ovens River side of Normins.
Just over 6 minutes gone. Macca's time clock. O&M live action under lights at the Normins Oval. Pinballing around. True centre wing. Ovens River side. Smith clearing kick for the Pies. Up towards half forward. Free kick and a whistle. Umpire says bring it back. It's going to go the way of the Dogs.
Pushing the back there. Just in that marking contest. Just a little shove. Another one that you probably see a lot just played on. But yeah, good call by the umpire.
As long as they're consistent, Monty, we don't have an issue. Andrews, raking left foot kick long down the line. Hits the stick in the chest. Falls the way of the Dogs. They go up towards half forward. Cassidy's there, leaving that one behind. Jorgensen, high up and under inside 50 in the Baker direction. Grossman tries to mark. Baker says, give it here, boys. Get that ball outside, and we'll have a boundary throwing 25 metres out from the Dogs' goal pen. They've looked really dominant. They just need to find a way to kick some goals inside 50.
Adam Jorgensen, boys, he's up to the 14 touches as well. He's been unbelievable, along with Mayfield and Ollie Greenhill in the third quarter.
So the Dogs by 12, inside forward 50 for them in this third quarter. Snap comes from the dual stick, and it's through for a minor score. So the Dogs, pressure here in this third quarter. They go to 6-7. The Magpies 4-5. Harvey Norman betting scoreboard. Cam Barrett with the kick-in duties. How many 40 winks for him, please, Dan Vaccaro?
Cam Barrett's about to have his 14th touch now, boys.
He's got to get rid of it pretty quickly. Evades a tackle. Little chip kick's okay. Finds Darcy Melksham. I've liked his game. Tonight he's playing between the 50s. Using that big tank of his to work up and down the ground. The Magpies forced to retreat. Ball's in the hands of Wodonga and Monty. This is a part of the game where Wodonga have done really well, forcing the Magpies to kick long down the line consecutively.
Yeah, absolutely. Setting up beautifully defensively as they take that intercept mark there. It's all because of how they're set up behind the footy, really pressing up high.
The stick with an intercept mark goes out wide in the direction of Wilding. Falls the way here of Sorochinski. Beautiful little kick finds Mathy. Very tight up against the boundary. Wants to come inside and he finds Jorgensen. So Jorgensen will line up 35 metres out. You'd call it a slight angle, almost directly in front.
Yeah, how good's that? Sorochinski, great use of the footy. And then Mathy was quick, knew it was a tight angle, looked inboard and found Jorgensen, who just seems to pop up. Doesn't look like he gets given much credit by the defence, but yeah, finds a lot of space.
He is a genuine contender for our Waters player of the day, is Adam Jorgensen. He's already kicked one. And he misses to the near side. It's through for a point. You give the bloke a pump up, that's okay. 1-1, his name. There, Jorgensen. The Dogs, they go to 6-8. The Magpies 4-5. We played 8 minutes on the Macca's time clock in this third quarter for STY medals.
What do you reckon, Monty? We start calling Panda Robbie. Kiss of death in
Robbie
front of
number
goal.
2, absolutely.
Up towards half forward. Head over the football was Deneen. Tommy Johnson just tackled his own teammate there.
He did, Gussie.
I don't know if anyone else picked up on that one, but Tommy Johnson wrapped his own teammate.
He's just attacking everything at the moment, Tommy
Poor
Johnson.
little kidder. He's just been given a big bear hug from Tommy Johnson. Umpire says we'll ball the footy up right in front of our broadcast position. 9.5 minutes gone for Maccas. Bailey Griffiths goes up against Knowles. Knowles tunnels that one back behind. Umpire should ball this footy up once again. We'll have another restart. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Adam Jorgensen, we touched on him before, boys. He's up to the 15 touches now on the 40 wing stat sheet. Another really good contender for player of the day.
Uses the ball well, does Jorgensen. There's a whistle. It's a high free kick against Griffiths in the ruck contest. And a free kick here to Knowles, who wants to hand pass it off to Sharrock nervously. He flicks it over to Saunders. Balks inside, shrugs off Jorgensen. Jorgensen held on to him. It was good pressure there by the Dogs. They forced the turnover. Brown's hand pass wasn't great. Hit the deck. Melksham on hands and knees. Sharrock was definitely grabbed without it, and he's going to win a free kick inside the centre square, just in front of Monty, down the boundary for Waters.
Yeah, it's a couple of times now Dan Sharrock's been tackled without the footy. I think they're trying to put a bit of time into him because he has been pretty good to start this game.
Umpire calls him to play on. No options present, so he goes laterally and finds Knowles. True centre wing, grandstand side of the Normans Oval. Umpire calls him to play on. The press from the Wodonga Bulldogs
First class.
is absolutely electric.
Yep.
The amount of times Wangaratta have been forced to retreat and switch the footy and almost turn it over is remarkable. Ellis marks true centre for the Wangaratta Magpies. Umpire calls him to play on. His handball was smothered. Here's Kitching. Intercepts nicely for the Dogs. They feed the football out wide to Wilding, who swapped the jumper inside. Forward 50 go the Dogs. It's heading towards the boundary line, and it's out for a boundary throw. And that is a really good bit of play from Wodonga there, Vax. They've got the football inside forward 50 from absolutely nothing.
You're absolutely right, Gus. And we touched on it at half time. Wodonga are simply just going man on man in Wangaratta's forward 50, and it's absolutely putting them in disarray. An unbelievably coaching masterclass by Jordan Taylor.
Wodonga 6-7-43. The Magpies 4-5-29. 11 gone on the Macca's time clock in this third quarter. Toss back into play. Saunders under Mathy pressure. Had to get a hand pass away. Sharrock goes in and applies a good tackle as well. And we've got a ball up inside the Dogs forward 50. They have owned territory, Dan Vaccaro, in this third quarter.
Yeah, absolutely right, Panda. 6 inside 50s for Wodonga, but the ball was just staying down there.
Here's a go for Jorgensen. Fumbled, but then gathered. Kicks on goal. And it's another minus score for the Bulldogs. Dan Vaccaro, the inside 50s for Wodonga, are really starting to stack it, but they can't convert on the scoreboard.
You're right, Gus. 7 now for the Wodonga Bulldogs to Wangaratta's 2. Can't convert on the scoreboard, but the territory battle is well and truly theirs at the moment.
It's Jorgensen's third behind, Panda.
It is indeed. So the Magpies, right half back through Van Berlo, goes down the line. Johnson's going to pick this footy off. He's not able to mark. O'Keefe goes back to McVeigh. The Magpies, they just don't go inside forward 50 yet. Beautiful one-on-one duel there by Morrison, who beats Reed. You don't see that very often. He kicks across goal to Driscoll. The Dogs want to switch the footy to the Ovens River side of the ground. It's in the hands of Jack O'Sullivan in front of the scoreboard. He tries to find a teammate. Good fist came from Saunders. He's given away a free kick, has he? He has. So the Dogs, through Cade Brown, have it. Oh, that is a shocking kick. Turned over to Melksham. He goes short to Ben Reid. And Ben Reid off a step misses. That's a horrible kick out of defence from the Dogs. Reid doesn't make him pay. The Magpies 4-6-30 to Wodonga 6-8-45. That is 12 minutes played here in this third quarter for STY medals.
Scott Montgomery's boundary sign for Waters.
Yeah, just the pressure there from Wangaratta. That's what they've got to keep doing. Keep putting the arm under the pump and that turnover. But they've got to take their chance when they come now. They can't afford to miss too many more because there's not much longer in this third quarter.
O&M Live, thanks to the Old Cannon Country Tavern. Mayfield burrows his way through, trying to find Heiner. Missed it. Ball comes out towards the broadcast side. The umpire says, give it here, boys. Have a ball up.
Josh Matthew as well, boys. He's up to 16 touches this quarter. He's been electric.
13 and a half minutes gone for Maccas. Third quarter action for STY medals. Knowles, too strong in the ruck, but the umpire's found an infringement. It's for a block. It's going to go the way of Big Driscoll for the Dogs. He's on the edge of the square. Right foot kicks a good one. Finds his way to Sam Jewell. The stick. Inside 50 goes Sam. Not his best kick. Looks like Barrett's chopped that one out. In fact, it's Van Berlo at true centre half back for the Wangaratta Magpies.
Monty, boundary side for Waters.
Yeah, I don't know what Chris Knowles supposed to do there. Driscoll just ran straight into him to give that free kick away, so a bit stiff there, Chris Knowles.
So Waite's kick as I drop me drink bottle here in the bird box. Clark runs on inside 50, bang. Hits Ben Reid on a searching lead, and he's taken it on the chest 47 metres out on a 50-degree angle broadcast side.
That play right there is a bit more of the Wangaratta we know. They were a bit sharper by foot, got it moving as quick as they could when they won the ball in D50 by Dylan Van Berlo, and then great use by Jackson Clark. Need to get it in his hands around those wings, half forwards, and try to hit these forwards a bit more often.
So Ben Reid goalless here in this ball game. Almost halfway gone in this third quarter. Ben Reid will kick from 50. That is a steel line goal of the day from Ben Reid. He has such a beautiful set shot. The Magpies, for all the Wodonga Bulldogs' dominance, have kicked the only 2 goals here in this third quarter. Dan Vaccaro, that never looked like missing.
Nah, it didn't. It was a beautiful kick by Ben Reid, and he can do a lot worse than having a big second half here, Ben Reid, if he can chime in the last quarter. But Charlie Morrison, he's been superb on him. But let's just see if he can hold on for another quarter and a half, boys.
Yeah, how good was that? Ben Reid, as we said, he's just a guy that just goes back and in the big moments he lives for him. So great finish. Needed to do that the one before. But yeah, as you said, Panda, Wang only 2 goals this quarter, even though Wodonga's had all the dominance of territory.
15 minutes between goals as well. Paddy Warner scored at the 22-second mark, and then Ben Reid at the 15-minute mark. Up towards half forward go the Dogs. Leaving that one behind was Wilding. Kitching on hands and knees, makes a good go. Clever by Wilding, taps it in towards a bit of space. Boardington closes, gets a crucial touch on that one and sends it out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. We've played 16 minutes in the third term for STY medals, Panda and the Dogs. For all their dominance in this third term, they'd really love to hit the Harvey Norman betting scoreboard.
Well, they've only kicked 5 behinds in this third quarter, so that could come back to cost them. We saw what happened with the Wangaratta Magpies last week. Boundary throwing inside the Dogs forward 50, comes the way of Clark. He's got enough poise to bounce the ball. It comes back to him eventually. The Dogs have turned it over. Well done by Greenhill. On to Johnson. Lovely left foot kick. Kitching dropped what he should have taken. In fact, it was Heiner. Flicks a hand pass to O'Sullivan, who lowers the eyes. And he goes inside 50. He finds Matt Wilson. And he's going to have to kick, well, every bit of 47 or 48 metres on a very tight angle.
Yeah, great movement again by Wodonga. They're just using the ball quite well. Jack O'Sullivan's been fantastic off half-back. And just his ball use going inside 50 there just showed why he's such a class player and why Wodonga have high regard for him.
So Matt Wilson, it's not a bad kick as it through. It fades late. And the umpire he's scheduled a point,
I think it crossed the line, Panda.
Yeah, well, the umpire's now scheduled a point for Wodonga. So there's 6 behind in this third quarter. They go to 6-9-45. The Magpies 5-6-36. We have played 17 minutes to the Maccas time clock.
Ben Bray dropped a mark. It was a tough kick for him, but he regathers. Kicks a banana-style kick down the line. Heiner fumbles, gets a nice handball to O'Sullivan, who's been chopped out by the Magpies in Sharrock.
Good kick.
He goes in board. Did Warner get on the half volley? I reckon he did. His handball was poor. Sharrock had to be clean, and he wasn't. Melksham came through. Dogs arrive in numbers and will ball the footy up in the middle of the centre square.
The defensive work for Wodonga there is fantastic. The Wang Magpies are just trying to get that link-up carry, but just can't quite get it because of the pressure coming from behind.
8-point lead to the Dogs. Here's Baker. Right foot kick. Wants to go out towards the Oven River side of the ground. A one-on-one contest. Well done by Tyler Norton. Got the ball with a high up and under inside forward 50. 3-on-1. The Dogs have numbers. Marr at ground level. Handballs nicely. The Dogs retreat. They've got numbers. Johnson, little chiselling kick, works out okay. The ball's in the hands of Cassidy across right half back for Wodonga.
Harvey Norman betting scoreboard. Wodonga 6-8 to the Magpies 5-6. We've played 18 minutes in this third quarter on the Macca's time clock. We're doing it for STY medals. The Dogs have successfully switched the football. Ovens River side of the ground. They go down the line. Asks a lot there of Jorgensen, who soccer styles off the ground. Gains about 30 metres there for the Dogs. He's in a one-on-one against Murray Waite. Jorgensen's got to be careful now. He's dived on the footy. And the umpire says, give it to me. Took a long time to blow the whistle. But more importantly, the Dogs are inside forward 50. Dan Vaccaro for 40 winks.
Thanks, Panda. Adam Jorgensen there is lucky not to give away a free kick, but he's been unbelievable this quarter. He's up to the 5 touches this quarter, 16 for the game, and Josh Matthew, his partner in crime as well, has had 16 and 5 this quarter.
Only 2 goals in the third term via the way of Warner and Reid. Both of the Wangaratta Magpies. 45 plays 36. Harvey Norman betting scoreboard.
11 inside 50s to 5 in favour of Wodonga this quarter too, boys.
Wow.
Ball up. 55 from the Dogs' goal. Pinballs around. Well done by Knowles. Regathers the football. Going to have to get rid of it. Does so in the nick of time. But off the boot, it's out of bounds on the full for a boundary throw-in. Or sorry, out of bounds on the full for a free kick, I should say. And it's going to be Mitch Sanine, footy in hand, Ovens River side of the ground. Wants to find an option. He's got one in board, and it works out okay to Tom Johnson.
He's got a big left foot, does Tommy Johnson. He doesn't use it. He goes short.
That was the left.
He goes to Baker. Baker, bang. Look at that. Beautiful delivery, as Monty said. Bang to Heinze. He's already kicked 2 goals from 2 kicks. Can he make it 3 from 3, Monty?
Tell you what, we spoke about him at half-time. He doesn't have to touch the footy very often, but if he's kicking goals, he'll stay in this side. And how good was that kick there? Just hit him on the chest. Didn't have to break stride. Perfect ball movement there from Wodonga. Didn't blaze away. Just found their way through the Wangaratta defence.
So he'll kick from 46-7 metres. Slide angle. Nick Hines, it looks lovely off the boot. He doesn't miss, Nick Hines. A steel line goal that a contender. That's his third. 3 disposals, 3 goals for Nick Hines.
You actually hit the nail on the head there, Panda. We laugh about it and joke about it. He's only had 3 touches today, but he's done something none of the forwards for Wodonga are able to do this quarter, and it was actually get it to the sticks. It's a lost art by the looks of it, but a fantastic finish by Hines. That's their 12th inside 50 this quarter, so it's about time they piled on some goals and put some more scoreboard pressure on Wangaratta Magpies. It's been really good performances by Josh Matthew, Adam Jorgensen, who we've mentioned, and Angus Baker's starting to really dominate this game too.
It's 1 in each quarter for Heinze, so he's just doing what he needs to do.
7-9-51 Wodonga to the Magpies, 5-6-36 on the Harvey Norman betting scoreboard. Clark's handball was smothered. The Dogs have numbers. Mayfield, handball's out towards Heiner. He's got Brown, the Cactus, and the Cactus is gone. Big tackle from Cam Barrett. And it's going to be a free kick to Wodonga.
Sling tackle he paid there, boys.
Umpires called advantage. There's a dust up in front of Monty. You keep an eye on that one. I'll watch the footy. Up towards centre half forward. Johnson comes through. It's Baker, in fact. Gets it inside forward 50. Norton has to be clean. He is. Right foot kicks a low chiseler. And it falls into the hands. I think it's Melksham, who was on hands and knees and takes a crucial mark for the Pies.
Monty, that's the one that I think they're trying to get rid of, especially at AFL level, that sling tackle. I mean, back in the day, it's the perfect tackle, but, I mean, it was a little bit dangerous.
It was a little bit, but I think he did everything he could to make sure it wasn't any worse than what it was. It's one of those ones, we'll see that 100 times this year and not paid a sling, but if that's the way they're going to go, hopefully they're consistent with it.
So a boundary throw-in. Inside the forward 50 here for the Wodonga Bulldogs. They lead this contest 7-9-51. The Pies 5-6-36. We've played 21 minutes of the Macca's time clock. Third quarter action. Murray Waite has been brought to ground. And we've got a secondary ball up. Dan Vaccaro for 40 winks.
Thanks, Panda. As I mentioned before, Josh Matthew, he's up to the 7th touch this quarter, being instrumental alongside partners in Jorgensen and Baker.
Knowles and Griffith in the ruck contest. Baker, quick kick. Goes back inside forward 50. Pack forms. Cassidy roving. Smart handball to Jewell. Onto Jorgensen and he dribbles through another one. The Dogs. A steel line goal that Ian Jorgensen's got 2. That is a big goal in this ball game. Scott Montgomery for Waters.
That's how you crumb, isn't it? Just got to the right spot at the right time. A quick little handball and put it through. It's exactly what Wodonga needed. They had all the dominance for the majority of this quarter inside 50 in the territory battle. And now they've hit the scoreboard twice in 2 minutes. Is exactly what they needed.
You're spot on, Mont. And an unbelievable display from Adam Jorgensen as well. 17 touches, 2 goals. He probably looks like their most dangerous footballer around those little packs and around around the footy inside forward 50. So unbelievable finish there. And Wodonga really starting to assert some scoreboard pressure on Wangaratta Magpies on the 40-wing stat sheet.
A game-high lead of 21 points to the Wodonga Bulldogs on the Harvey Norman betting scoreboard. They're starting to kick away. The Magpies need to respond and respond quickly. Sharrock gets it towards Smith. Inside forward 50. Moore's the target, takes the mark. 35 metres out on a tight angle. And if any right footer in the Wangaratta Magpies can kick it, it's this bloke.
Yeah, again, the ball movement from the centre has been really good from Wangaratta. They just need to get a bit of scoreboard pressure here because they've had a lot of chances winning from the centre, going inside 50. Just haven't been able to take those chances. He's
starting his approach from when they've painted the 50, meets the boundary line. To the Evans Street end. Calmore's right foot kick looks okay, but it's to the right-hand side for a minor score. 20-point ball game favouring the Dogs on the Harvey Norman betting scoreboard. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Thanks, Gussie. Dan Sharrock as well. He got the ball in that lead-up play as well. He's had a really good game, 17 touches, but just not enough passengers a lot of passengers for Wangaratta at the moment.
Calmore, 1 goal, 3. So his woes in front of goal continue. There have been hard shots here, so credit to the Dogs' defence as we see the ball trickle over the boundary line. Ovens River side of the ground. Just 4 to centre here for the Wangaratta Magpies, who need to do it all in this last quarter coming up. They trail by 20 points. The Dogs 57, the Pies 37. We've played 24 minutes on the Macca's time clock. The umpire is going to toss this one back into play. Constant rain over the past couple of hours or so, just drizzling here at the Norm Mins. Sharrock, he's been everywhere for the Magpies. Tumbling kick inside 50. Baker in the hole, wasn't able to drop it. Spills the way of Reed. His kick was smothered. O'Keefe, smart hands, out to Melksham. He slipped over at the crucial moment. Now he's in trouble. Ball up. Oh,
right call.
Good decision.
Yeah, good call. 35 metres out from the Magpies goal.
24 minutes gone. Macca's time clock. The Pies would kill for the next one as we hear close to three-quarter time. O&M Live footy under lights. Here's a go for Sharrock from 35 metres out to the near side for a minor score. The Wangaratta Magpies moved to 5 goals, 9, I should say, 39 to 57. The Dogs lead this one on the Harvey Norman betting scoreboard. And Monty, that wet, slippery footy, you can only describe it as greasy conditions, is starting to wreak havoc with the scoreboard.
Absolutely, it is. And just you see there nearly a drop mark off the chest. They just need to adjust to the conditions, I think, here, both sides. You go a bit longer, a bit more direct rather than the short chipping game.
So the Dogs play safe footy. They go long down the line. Knowles wasn't paid the mark. I think it come off a teammate, and he had to hand pass it. Knowles comes back to the umpire.
And I reckon he's paid a dissent here.
I reckon he has as well, Monty. Good call.
Yeah, against Chris Knowles, boys. He got up very aggressively towards the umpire there, which he probably was in the right because he was the man in front who had the ball the whole way through that marking contest.
Alrighty, so the Dogs 57 over the Pies 38. We have played 25 minutes on the Macca's time clock in this third quarter, and they, Gus McLeod, have kicked the last 2 goals in this ball game.
For the Old Town and Country, Baker's got the footy at half-back. His 40 winks disposals, please, Dan.
21.
Morrison, the co-captain, kicks up towards half-forward. 3 Magpies to beat 1 Dog. The Magpies prevail. Great tackle applied by Miles Jewell. And the umpire says we'll have a ball up. And Mars is happy to provide a little bit of advice to a few of the Wangaratta Magpies boys.
You can do that when you're 3 goals up, can't you?
Well, Jewell's a little bit slow to get up there, but he got Polax into the deck. Looks like the Magpies are going to throw Van Berlo forward here, Monty. You like this move. Griffiths in the ruck, palms it down towards Marr. On hands and knees. Coming through was Wilson. Left it behind. Murray Waite kicks up the grounds.
Hey.
Tommy Johnson soccers it out of mid-air. Miles Jewell flew high. Baker, hands on the footy, back to Tom Johnson. Kicks off a step, long down the line. 2-on-1. And Heiner, happy to take that ball out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. And at three-quarter time on the Harvey Norman betting scoreboard, the Dogs lead 8-9-57 to the Magpies 5-8-38. It's going to be a big final term coming your way. Under lights at the Norm Inns Oval, right here on O&M Live, where you won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Three-quarter time where the Wodonga Bulldogs lead 57-38. And for Watters, we'll cross boundary side to Scott Montgomery.
Yeah, boys, obviously both coaches very animated there. The Wodonga JT was very much about, let's start nil all, let's just get this quarter done, let's do everything right like we've done for three quarters. On the Wang side, it was like, they're too good of a side to just keep going through the motions what we have been for three quarters. Let's try and turn it on here and give ourselves every chance of winning it.
It's just interesting, Monty. I'll buzz in there while Gus turns his microphone on. It's just so interesting. I mean, the Wangaratta Magpies still can't gain 4 premiership points out of this. Yes, they don't want to go 3 games behind Wodonga, but, I mean, motivational levels, does it play a factor in this last quarter?
You've played footy, Panda. You want to win, don't you?
Of course, but they can't.
Yeah, but they can. There's just no points on the ladder. It's still a better feeling having a beer after a win than a loss.
It is, and I tell you what, Wodonga would love to win because they have not defeated Wangaratta since August 20, 2016, where Tom Johnson kicked 2 goals that day as a young fella. Brett Doswell kicked 3 goals. Can they do it, Gus McLeod? Take it away for APCO Wangaratta because the Dogs lead in this last quarter.
Brett, put some potato cakes on. The O&M Live boys are coming through APCO tonight.
10 and 10.
Umpire throws the footy aloft and the Dogs get the first clearance up towards half forward. Jorgensen, being good, made a contest there. Coming through is Miles. Jewel left it behind. Here's Mathy. Goes by hand towards Heiner. 1-2. Kick was smothered off the boot. Well done by Warner. Umpire said, give it here, boys. Out of bounds for a boundary throw in front of Monty. Boundary side for Waters. The Dogs look hot early.
They do. Josh Mathy there just typified what he's done all day. Just went at it 100 miles an hour and got that smother.
20 touches for Josh Mathy, 2 on the 40-wink stat sheet, boys.
Strong start to the year for Josh Mathy. Griffiths was strength. Tried to tap it to the Dogs' advantage. Murray Waite is just built into this contest. Not his greatest kick, out of bounds on the full. True centre winger Norm Minns oval. Mitch Deneen will bring the football back in for the Dogs. 57 plays 38. What a win this would be for Wodonga if they can hold on. You'd expect the Magpies to challenge in this last quarter. Deneen goes inside 50. Barrett not able to mark. Good sweeping hand pass finds Knowles. His kick was half smothered. Barrett goes back in again, plays for a free kick. Umpire said play on, which I like. With a boundary throw in 55 around for Wodonga's goal. No score in this last quarter, but doing it for APCO Wangaratta, Dan Vaccaro.
Spot on, Panda, and a really positive start again by Wodonga in the territory battle. Already in inside 50. 2 early touches for Josh Mathy on the 40-wink stat sheet as well.
Griffiths starting to dominate in the ruck for mine. Took it out of midair, got it inside forward 50. Here's a chance for Jorgensen, but he left the football behind. The Magpies clear the lines with a high up and under. Well done by Sorochinski. Here's a go for O'Keefe for the Magpies. Right foot kick was okay. Johnson regains possession for the Dogs and kicks up towards half forward. The stick got pushed in the back. Umpire said there was nothing in it. Jorgensen got legged. Umpire said nothing there. Hines was slow in the chase of Wodonga, and he clears defensive lines for Wangaratta.
Ma in a one-on-one against Ellis. Ma wins out, gives it to the running Cassidy. Lowers the eyes inside forward 50. Not a great kick. And it's been marked down there in defence by... Is it Cal Moore? No, it's Wodonga, sorry. Well picked up, Monty. Wodonga goes straight down the high little. There's Cal Moore. There's a free kick and a whistle here to the Dogs. And it looks like it's going to go the way of Mitch Deneen.
Yeah, just grabbed hold of the arm there, Murray Waite. So a bit of a silly free kick in that position on the ground.
So Deneen, too far out to score. Pumps it to the hot spot. Wodonga floats off. Van Berlo not able to mark. Wodonga's now over this football. Picked up here by Mathy. Tries to burrow his way through. Almost probably should have been stung for holding the ball there. Knowles, hand pass not great. Cassidy, that's got to be holding the ball. Oh, Saunders wrapped him up. Ball sort of pinballing around. Saunders tried to get a kick away. O'Keefe in there. Melksham on hands and knees. Hand passes out to Murray Waite. He tries to get past one. O'Keefe goes in there. Good pressure here by the Dogs. And they flick it around here to Sorosinski. And we've got a boundary throw in after all that. 40 metres out from Wodonga's goal. Still no score in this last quarter.
That range a little bit heavy too, boy. A bit heavier, boys. So I reckon this ball might be on the deck a fair bit in this last quarter.
The pressure from Wodonga has been unbelievable too, boys.
Monty Melksham's come off the ground. He looks sore.
Yeah,
or he could just be knackered.
A little bit of an ankle by the looks of it, but he'll be right.
Boundary throw-in back into play. Inside forward 50 for the Dogs. The Magpies exit. Deneen was good. Held front possession. Or position, I should say. Baker throws it on the boot towards centre half forward. Tracking it nicely as Barrett just throws it on the boot and kicks the football out towards Grossman. Ovens River side of the ground. Not many options present, so he kicks long. Morrison chops out for the Dogs. Drop the wet Sharon. Regathers possession. Right foot kick in board's a good one. He finds his co-captain in Greenhill. And Greenhill wants to come broadcast side.
He comes to Jewel, and Jewel just... kicks it short to Driscoll. He's a good user for a big fella. Smartly tapped on there by Jorgensen. He knew he couldn't mark it. Gained about 20 metres there for the Dogs. Matey overran the footy. We've got a boundary throw in as Heinze sees it over the boundary line. 60 out from Wodonga goal. No score here in this last quarter for APCO Wangaratta. We have played 4 minutes. The Dogs lead by 19, Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, you're spot on, Panda, and the Bulls for Wodonga are just getting their hands dirty at the moment. Ollie Greenhill, Josh Matey, Angus Baker are all getting their hands in the footy early.
Still no score in this final term, as Blake Panda Escott mentioned, and still no update as to whether my $40 have won the meat tray or not.
It's on the scoreboard, Gussie. If you looked over there, it's running down the bottom there every now and again.
Jot that number down for me, Monty, because they're still looking for us, and I'm going to find how many tickets I've got.
You want half your lamb, don't you, Gus?
Bloody oath, it'll be a good spit roast up in East Albury if I win the meat tray. Here's a go for Matey. Picked a pocket, kicked on goal. It's fading, and it fades to the left-hand side for a minor. Oh, it doesn't. It's been marked on the line by Van Berlo. Probably a little bit in two minds there, I'd say, was Matey, whether to centre the ball or to have a shot.
Whoa.
Dangerous kick back in board. It works out okay. I think the ball's in the hands of Norton. Umpire's going to call into play on now, Pand.
Oh, wow. Norton's kick is a shocker across goal.
Oh,
Baker turns it over, and it's found it in the middle there to Hines. Nick Hines will line up 40 metres out, directly in front for his fourth disposal of the game. And more importantly, his fourth goal of the game, Dan Vaccaro.
You're spot on, Panda. And again, we're laughing about it, but he has just done his role perfectly today. He's lined up for his fourth goal, and he's been a great target for Wodonga.
No meat tray for me, boys.
Well, if Nick Hines can bang through this, he might have more than a meat tray tonight. He has absolutely nailed it as Nick Hines. 4 goals against Wangaratta. He's arrived in the SSNA Ovens of Murray. And it's now a 25-point margin for Wodonga in this last quarter for APCO Wangaratta.
I don't know if I can stand Hig all week, the way he's going to talk this one up. So I might try and stay away from him for the player of the day, that's for sure.
I'm just blocking him on social media as we speak. The big Hig, he's kicked 4, Dan.
He has. He's been fantastic. He's played his role perfectly, and Wodonga just look unbelievable. They're pretty much cooking at the moment. They are just awesome. They've gone inside forward 55 times already this quarter. Wang yet to see their inside 50 yet. So, and as we've mentioned before, the usual suspects, Josh Mather, he's up to 21 touches now. Ollie Greenhill's been so hard in the contest as well for Wodonga. 19-point lead to the Dogs for work, Locker Wangaratta. Umpire throws the footy up. Griffiths has been really good, but he palms it down towards Moore. Moore pumps it about 70 metres inside, forward 50. Johnson sat in the hole, brought it to ground level. Free kick from the umpire is going to go the way of the Dogs, and Tom Johnson will be the recipient. In the back pocket for the Wodonga Bulldogs. 7 minutes gone, Macca's time clock. Dangerous kick in towards half forward. Saunders applies a good tackle. And well done by Wilson to cause a bit of a neutral there because the kick from Johnson was poor. Boundary throw in. Well, out of bounds on the full, I should say. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Dogs in the pocket. I know he stuffed up that kick, Tom Johnson, but he's almost been best on ground for mine today.
So the Dogs try to exit defence. Dangerous kick. Jesse Smith tries to intercept there for the Magpies. Here's Andrews. Got enough time to take a bounce. Hand passes it to Brown. They move the footy down the broadcast wing. Spills out the back here to Baker. He can hand pass it to the stick. Goes Goldwood. And it's been marked down there in the pocket.
It's Wilding.
By Wilding. Well picked up, Gus McLeod for the Old Town and Country Tavern. And Scott Montgomery. Great transition footy from the Dogs again.
They're taking it on Wodonga still. In a game like this, probably last year, they would have tried to save the game, but they're definitely taking it on. Some risky kicks that aren't quite coming off, but sometimes it works like it did that time, and they've gone end-to-end without Wang even look like getting their hands on it.
So Oscar Wilding has started the season very impressively here for Wodonga. He's kicked 6 goals so far for the year. He'll kick a banana from the pocket, Oscar Wilding. It's across the face, through for a minor score. But more importantly, the Dogs move to 9-10-64. The Magpies 5-8-38. We've played 8 minutes on the Macca's time clock. Fourth quarter action for APCO Wangaratta.
2 behinds to Oscar Wilding today. 64 plays 38. Work Locker Wangaratta. Barrett forced to go up the guts and start rolling the dice. Johnson almost took a Mawson's concrete mark of the day. Here's Soroczynski running backwards, but needs to get the ball going forwards for the Wodonga Bulldogs. He kicks out wide, not his best kick. Kitching fumbles, happily to take the ball towards the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. The Wodonga Bulldogs lead 9-10-64 to the Wangaratta Magpies, 5-8-38. It's for Work Locker Wangaratta and for the Old Town and Country Tavern. Here's Panda.
They've almost taken the sting out of this game, boys. They've gone inside forward 55 times, and they just keep attacking Wodonga. It's been fantastic football to watch.
So the Magpies come out of the stoppage quickly on hands and knees. McVeigh, he's got to get the footy moving pretty quickly. Just four to centre. Kicks it long. Moore's in a 1-on-2. Can't force a contest out the back. O'Sullivan just dropped the footy. Reid, left foot kick. He's got to kick it, and he does. Ben Reid, that's his second. Brings the margin back to 18 points. And, well, the Magpies, Scott Montgomery, they still have a bit of a sniff in this last quarter.
They definitely do, and you can tell by the way they're trying to kick the ball out of the fence now, they're going to really take this game on, so it could open up some chances for Wodonga, but it's what Wang have to do with probably only 10, 15 minutes to go.
You're spot on there, Mont. Sorry about that. The microphone went out. A really good comeback here by Wang. They've got a chance. They've got a chance to win this game.
Lie. The microphone went out. You were asleep,
You're
man.
not catching me out on that, are you?
Who's on the scoreboard?
I'm not, probably an attendant of some sorts, Gus.
Well, maths is not my strong point. Is it a 20-point ball game? Is that correct?
Yep.
There you go. Scoreboard attendant, bravo. It's for work locker Wangaratta. Inside forward 50 go the Pies.
Oi.
That is great radio if ever I've heard it. McVeigh marks 55 from home. Kicks into the pocket. Club room's end. Moore in a one-on-one. Here's a go for Holland Dean. His kick was poor. He got a push as he went to kick. And Miles Jules, the recipient of the free kick. 20-point ball game favouring the Wodonga Bulldogs for work locker Wangaratta. And deep in the pocket is Sorochinski.
Probably mass isn't my strong suit, Gus. I said it was an 18-point margin.
Well, that's what threw me.
Probably when it was 20. I did drop mass in year 11 at Aubrey High.
Surprised you did year 11.
Exactly
I would
right.
have jumped in, boys, but my mic just went out.
Very smooth from our man Dan Vaccaro. It's boys number one. With a boundary throw in right in front of Scott Montgomery on the boundary for Waters. And that Reid goal just gives him a bit of a sniff here, Monty.
Sniff, and the bench definitely got up, boys. But there are quite a few Wang Magpies coming off with cramp and getting rubs on the bench. So be interesting to see if they can run this game out strong and try and get back into it.
Broadcasting till 9:15. She's going to be a loose post game on O&M Live. Clark up towards half forward. Johnson being one of the best for the Dogs. Handballs. And the handball was poor. Coming out wide from Greenhill. Boundary throw in true centre wing broadcast side. Hello to Miranda Gray, giving us a bit of a wave on O&M Live. Wangaratta C-grade netball superstar. The Magpies 44, the Dogs 64. Scott Montgomery for Waters.
Did Miranda have to drop the car down again, mate? Is that why she needed the keys?
Here nice and early at 1:15.
Panda was here at quarter past 9 this morning at the car park.
Just to get the good park.
So ball on centre wing. The Dogs still in front in this game by 20 points. It takes something special here from the Magpies. Ellis gets it on the left foot. Kicks it inside 50. Over the head there of Holland Dean, and the Dogs see it over the boundary. Magpies will have it tossed back into play. 30 out from their goal, Dan Vaccaro for 40 Winks.
Yeah, you're right, Panda, and they're just starting to get that territory battle back a little bit here. They've had 4 inside 50s this quarter, and only 5 minutes ago they only had none. So they're really sort of trying here, but Wodonga just got too much scoreboard pressure, I feel.
9:15 is a long, long way away. Moore out of the ruck, throws it onto the boot. Top of the goal square, falls just short. Tracking this one nicely is Andrews. Some support arrives from O'Sullivan. Players are losing their footing. Chip kick in towards the top of the goal square. On the last line of defence, the Dogs have numbers. They clear defensive lines. Tracking this one towards the boundary is Sorochinski. Did it go out of bounds?
Yep.
Umpire said yes, it did. Boundary throw in 55 metres out from goal, favouring the Magpies, and boundary side is Scott Montgomery for Waters.
Jeez, if Wodonga are smart here, they can close this game right out, take a few minutes off the clock, maybe just try and clear the line every time they get it deep in defence and try and just ice the game. Don't try and take it on too much and get Wang a bit of a sniff.
O&M Live coverage on 2AY and 3&E across Albury and Wangaratta and surrounds. And the Wodonga Bulldogs, this would be some win for their football club if they can get it here. Still a bit to do. Cal Moore loads up from 55 off a step. Cal Moore touched on the goal line. That would have been some finish from Cal Moore, an important fist there from the Dogs, and it's through for a minor. The Magpies 45, the Dogs 64. We have played 13 minutes in this last quarter for APCO Wangaratta.
1 goal 4 to Callum Moore. He's had to find and spark some life into the game, but you just have to think a bit of luck goes the way the Magpies. A few of those go in. Well, all of a sudden, it's a very different ball game. The Dogs got the footy across half back, Ovens River side of the ground. Ball's been marked. They come in board. They find the Hig, long way from home.
This is his first disposal where it will not be a goal.
Hines
and what
kicks
bounce
to centre half forward. Good looking kick. Numbers arrive from the Wangaratta Magpies. O'Sullivan, or Greenhill, I should say, got the football to Wilson. Wilson, the boy from Finley, kicks to the top of the goal square. And the mark's being taken. Is it Cassidy? It is Cassidy, deep in the pocket. Go back and kick it, son. Go back and kick the goal. This one had just about buried it for the Bulldogs, Mont.
Again, that ball movement, just got it to a dangerous spot, and then nice little step there to get it around and hit Cassidy on the lead.
Cassidy to extend the margin to a game-high 26 points for the Wodonga Bulldogs. Tied up on the boundary at the Evans Street end. Check side kick hits the stick. The Magpies are still in it. It's a big, big margin to come back from, Panda. 45 plays 65 for Worklocker Wangaratta, and they're coming up the guts.
They are indeed. Ben Reed's caught in a one-on-one, though, against O'Sullivan and Morrison. Spills out the back here to Morrison. His hand pass wasn't great. Melksham in the long sleeves, dazzling and weaving and kicking to a one-on-one out the back. Tries to get out there to McVeigh. He's up against Andrews, and the boundary line wins out. 45 metres out from the Wangaratta Magpies goal. We've played 15 minutes of the Maccas time clock. The Dogs, 9:11:65. The Magpies, 6:9:45. Here's Dan Vaccaro for 40 winks.
Angus Baker's been huge this quarter, boys. Halfway through, and he's already had the 5 touches, so that brings him to 29 for the game. Really standing up for Wodonga in these dying moments.
Driscoll's gone into the ruck for the Dogs. Mathy, 40 winks disposal to Soroczynski, who throws it on the boot with a high up and under. Hines makes a contest on Grossman. Then Hines goes to the torpedo punt long down the line, trying to find the stick. Brought it to ground level. Knowles' handball was clever. Norton got taken high by Angus Baker, and the umpire saw it that way. It's going to be a free kick for the Magpies. They're going to have to start rolling the dice, Panda, because they need the next goal on the Worklocker Wangaratta scoreboard, or they're going to be dead and buried here on O&M Live.
They are. Norton goes out wide. Ovens River side of the ground to Melksham. Liked his game. Wasn't the greatest of kicks, but Grossman made it look all right with a diving chest mark. They're going to try and switch the footy, open up the play. It's in the hands here of Van Berlo. Gives it to the running man, Norton. Not a great kick, but McVeigh just stuck out the one juke, marks it. Too far out to score. Broadcast side goes short to Warner. He's still 60 from home. Goes into the pocket towards Ben Reed. Great Wangaratta Magpies footy. Reed not able to mark. Oh, Andrews' kick hit the Magpies player in the head. Spills to Cal Moore, who snaps and misses. Oh, a costly miss. That's 1-5 for Cal Moore. Wowee. The Magpies blowing a few chances here. 6:10:46. Wodonga 9:11:65. We played 16 minutes of the Maccas time clock. Scott Montgomery for Waters.
Yeah, plenty of chances, Wang, still haven't they? They just haven't been able to capitalise when they've been inside 50. Even in that first quarter, we go way back to then. They kicked 1-5. Which if they had to kick maybe 5 goals, the game's over at quarter time.
Leading the inside 50 count this quarter too, boys. They're up to 8 inside 50s to Wodonga's 7.
You called it beautifully before, Panda, but the fist Charlie Morrison got on that Ben Reed lead saved what would almost be a certain goal. Reed doesn't miss too many set shots from inside 30 metres. He's been superb as the co-captain. The Dogs clear the lines and go up towards the Ovens River side of the ground. Jesse Smith needs to be clean. He fumbles. Support arrives for the Dogs. Smith tracking the one towards the boundary line. Got a kick up towards half forward in the Clark direction. Gathers the footy, and he goes too far towards the boundary line. He steps out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. 55 metres out from the Magpies goal. On the Worklocker Wangaratta scoreboard, 65 plays 46, favouring the Dogs on O&M Live for the Old Town and Country Tavern. Here's Blake Panderescott on O&M Live.
Fourth quarter action for our great friends at APCO Wangaratta. Although Brady might not be too happy in the next 10 or 15 minutes if his Magpies get beat. Clark had to just hand pass it away. Warner's over this football. He's been met straight away. Spills to Melksham. Good shepherd from his teammate. Melksham goes in towards Reed. Beautiful left foot kick there from Reed. And he's marked 47 metres out on a pretty tight angle on our broadcast side.
Still, the defensive work of Wodonga has made him get it right out. He has had to take the mark 45 out on a tight angle. Great defensive work, and Charlie Morrison needs to take a bow, even though he's taking the mark on this one, Ben Reed.
So just to keep the Magpies in it, not a great kick from Ben Reed. It's not going to score. In fact, it's going to be marked down there on the last line by Monty's man, Jack O'Sullivan, who was definitely a contender for our Waters player of the day. The Dogs by 19. They're almost home, Gus McLeod.
Dangerous kick. If the Dogs kick the next one, you can say that's the first nail in the coffin. The Magpies refuse to give in. Brace 55 from home. Chips in board. Not his best. Baker mopped up. Here's Soroczynski tied up on the boundary line. Opts to throw it on the boot and kick long. Not the best kick. Intercepting nicely is Boarding Young. We've played 19 minutes, Panda. And the Magpies need to kick a goal and kick one quickly. Grossman, low, chiselling kick, chopped out beautifully. Angus Baker marks at centre-half back, and I reckon, Monty, the Dogs will slow things down, maybe look to throw a man behind the footy.
Yeah, absolutely. They've actually had a man behind the footy for the last 4 or 5 minutes, and I reckon they might chuck a second one because they did in the end of the third quarter, had 2 behind the footy, so they're not scared to do that.
32 touches for Angus Baker on the 40-wing stat sheet too as well, boys.
They're away here through Matthew Wilson on the Ovens River side of the ground. He's taken 2 bounces. He kicks deep. Out the back there, Cassidy. Can he keep his feet? He hand passes to Kitching, and Norton smartly rushes it across the boundary line for a minor score. So the Dogs, 66, lead the Magpies 46. We have played 20 minutes in this last quarter for APCO Wangaratta, and repeating, they have not defeated the Pies, Gus McLeod, for 7 years.
Making it a contender to be the number 1 stats man on the 40-wing stat sheet is Panda. The kick was poor. The Dogs go to the top of the square.
Free kick.
Cassidy to get taken high. He did. Free kick to Cassidy. He's going to go back from point-blank range. And this one would seal the deal for the Dogs.
Fraser Ellis kick in there. I don't know what he was looking for, but he's hit the Wodonga player on the chest. There might have been Ma, was it, or Brown on that far side. But yeah, just unbelievable that he could turn it over when they're trying to kick it long every time. He's gone short and hit the wrong team.
If Hines was on the ground, he'd probably want the free kick to go his way. But he's on the bench.
I think he's actually calling for a rotation from Jet Cassidy. Get him off now before he takes the kick.
Well, he wants to. I reckon if he kicks 5, he's a contender.
Nah.
No.
Monty's put a line through it.
No chance. 10 and he's not.
Cassidy.
I don't know what's going on here, boys. Is he trying to take his 30 seconds or... Yeah.
Plays on,
Smart.
kicks a goal, and the Dogs are home on O&M Live.
Interesting.
10-12-72 to the Magpies. 6-10-46. Work locker Wangaratta scoreboard. Cassidy, he's kicked his second. And the Bulldogs are home, Panda, for the first time since...
2016, August 20.
There you go. Try and beat that one onto the 40 wings for Caro.
I may as well just give him the stat sheet. How good is that? I'm really happy with that. But what a win by Wodonga. That Wangaratta have bought the heat this last quarter, but they've still almost matched them in the inside 50. So 11-10. So Wodonga is still up there. Unbelievable last quarter by Angus Baker. He's up to 32 touches for the game.
Only thing separating your 2 stats today, gentlemen, Panda's got better pants on.
There you go.
Agreed.
Stiff, I reckon.
Very stiff.
I'm looking the part.
Our man Dan Vaccaro.
9-15, Panda.
He's got a little smile on his face because we know he's a proud Two's former team manager of the Wodonga Bulldogs, and they've come to play in season 2023.
He's got the maroon jumper in the bag, I reckon.
He does.
Dogs 2s are winning a bit now, Vax, isn't there?
Made a prelim last year.
A double agent. It was all a ploy.
3-0 they are going to be to start this SSNA Ovens and Murray season, and that's going to set their season up to break that finals hoodoo. The Magpies go forward. Spills the way here of Reed. Mathy just burrows in really hard. Reed flicks it out. Here's a chance as they go inside forward 50. More up against O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan wins out again. He is certainly a wonderful player in this competition. His hand pass wasn't great. Warner has to go back, and he finds Norton too far out to score for the Pies.
Broadcast side, 10 metres in from the boundary line. Sells a bit of candy, gets to 50. Chips it up to the top of the goal square. Reads the target, and Driscoll comes through and gets a crucial fist on that one. Well helped by Andrews. Through for a minor score. 72 plays 47 on the Work Locker Wangaratta scoreboard. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Thanks, Gussie. So that's the 13th inside 50 this quarter for Wang, but they just can't put any scoreboard pressure. As we see, a little bit of confusion here. Matt Sorochinski's taking the kick out.
Take it away, Dan.
No, I'll let you boys handle it.
He's doing wonderful things on our 40-wing stat sheet. Scott Montgomery on the boundary for Waters as well. So the Dogs are going to win this one. They're in front by 25 points in the last quarter as the Magpies go back inside forward 50. Driscoll just didn't want to mark that pill. You can do those things when you're 25 points up with 23 minutes played in the last quarter. Jet Cassidy liked his game again as well today. Norton flicks it out the back. Broadcast side. Ellis trying to weave a little bit of magic. Plays touch footy, keeps it down the line. Hollandine, smart little kick. Big collision almost between Sorochinski and McVeigh. McVeigh's won a free kick, tied up against the boundary. He'll have a shot on goal for the Pies, 40 metres out.
Yeah, just a silly free kick there. Didn't have the eyes for the footy, just went at the man. It's probably one of those ones you just try and get a fist on it and get it over the boundary line from there.
So consolation for Liam McVeigh. I'm not sure it's going to register a score out of bounds on the full. It just hasn't been the Wangaratta Magpies start to the year. a tough loss last week, and of course, outplayed tonight by a very, very impressive Wodonga Bulldogs, Gus McLeod.
It certainly does. It certainly sets up a mouth-watering Anzac Day clash. The Raiders will have a bit of fire in the belly after suffering a heartbreak loss to the crosstown rivals of the Magpies, the Rovers. I have no idea.
He's just told one of Wodonga's players to get it out of the way, but he's 25 metres away from the footy.
Thank God the game's almost done, Monty. Jorgensen at centre wing. Kicks up towards Hines. He's going to have to get on his bike here, the big hig. Too slow for Clark.
Turning circle of the Titanic.
The Queen Mary on the field. Turning circle of the Queen Mary, the Nick Hines. Inside forward 50. Weight. High up and under. Not the best kick. Strongly marked by Cactus Brown. The Dogs will suck a bit of life out of this contest. They'll really start to enjoy it. Their first win over the Pies since 2016. They've been outclassed today, Panda.
They have. Our twos boys down there certainly enjoying this one as well, the Wodonga Bulldogs.
Be a good road trip up the Hume.
It will indeed. So Jorgensen marks on the far side, pumps him inside forward 50 again. Wilding in a one-on-one between Norton and Kitching has been wrapped up, and we've got a ball up inside forward 50 for the Dogs. They're home here on O&M Live. Their best win in a very long time. 72 plays 47 over the Magpies. We've played 25 minutes on the Macca's time clock.
Hig will be calling for everything here. He wants a handful. Coming through is Kitching, wrapped up in a Smith tackle. Umpire said nothing in it. Sharrock been a shining light for the Pies. So is this boy Melksham. Handballs over the top. Hacked forward by Saunders. Up towards centre half back. Coming through is Luke Saunders. Finds Barrett. Right foot kick inside forward 50. Benny Bray's the target. Johnson's hot on his heels. The young versus the old, and the old, the wise, and the strong. Tommy Johnson, too much class, shovels that one out of bounds for a boundary throw in. Repeating the score for Worklocker Wangaratta. Wodonga 10-12-72. The Pies 6-11-47. It's going to be an emphatic win here for Wodonga.
It is indeed. Dan Vaccaro on our 40-wing stat sheet.
Yeah, 16 inside 50s for Wang this quarter, so they've had a lot of the footy, but the defence of the Wodonga Bulldogs just held up unbelievably well.
Our boundary man back in the box with us here as well, Scott Montgomery.
Must be raining.
And there's a mark.
Get a few batteries, boys, just to make sure I get all these interviews.
Good man. There's a mark inside forward 50. Jesse Smith for the Magpies will line up from 45 metres on a 45-degree angle. Starts his approach. Not a bad kick on the way. It's through for a minor score. 6-12-48, the Wangaratta Magpies. The Dogs 10-12-72. We've played 27 minutes for APCO Wangaratta. And this sets up a very, very intriguing grand final rematch next week on O&M Live. Yarrawonga at home to Wangaratta. For the first time, they can claim premiership points in season 2023.
Do we see a new look Wangaratta when they can play for premiership points next week, perhaps? The Pigeons will come in hot after a 100-point win over the North Albury Hoppers today at Bunton Park. Football's at true centre wing, far side. Hines at his pocket, picked by Van Berlo, who kicks up the line. Not Van Berlo's best kick. Murray Waite went for a one-hander. Couldn't quite bring it in, and it's a boundary throw in 55 from the Magpies goal. 72 plays 48. The Dogs lead on the Worklocker Wangaratta scoreboard.
Inside 50 count too, boys. Yeah, only 10 inside 50s for Wodonga, but so much more potent throughout the whole four quarters. And it's on the back of brilliant ball use by Angus Baker. He's up to 33 touches for the game.
28 minutes gone on the Macca's time clock. Gus McLeod might not have won the meat tray, but he's going to win a big Bamery full of stuff at APCO Wangaratta. And the Dogs have defeated Wangaratta for the first time in 7 years. What a win for Jordan Taylor and the Wodonga Bulldogs. They've come to Wangaratta and they've defeated the Magpies by 24 points. What a win there for the Wodonga Bulldogs on O&M Live on 2AY and 3NE. And now Scott Montgomery has a very, very hard task of choosing out player of the day, all thanks to Waters. Who are you thinking, Mont?
I like the backman, mate, and I reckon the guy that kept Cal Moore to one goal might be a chance.
Well, it could be Jack O'Sullivan, could be Charlie Morrison. I think we've... has Nick Hines been ruled out, Monty?
Yeah,
yes.
No, he's got a black line all year, so he won't be getting it no matter how many he kicks.
I reckon we'll have to get him on for a post-game chat, the big hit.
Yeah, we might do that, but we won't be giving him play of the day, that's for sure.
Full time at the Normans Oval, 6-12-48, the Wangaratta Magpies defeated by the Wodonga Bulldogs 10-12-72. The Dogs start the season 3-0, and coach Jordan Taylor, well, his smile could light up the Enormins over when the lights go off, Panda. He's a very happy man. And I tell you what, the Dogs are playing some very attractive and fun football, Panda. It is hard not to enjoy watching the Wodonga Bulldogs go to work each and every week.
And Scott Montgomery is boundary side with our Watters player of the day. It's the boy from Koroit, Jack O'Sullivan.
Jack O'Sullivan, player of the day, mate. How's it feel to beat Wangaratta on their home deck?
Yeah, I just thought, credit to Wang, obviously a top side, but we know we've done the work, and we just think we're bloody, up with the top sides.
And playing a bit undersized tonight, mate, on Cal Moore, able to keep him in one goal. You got to be happy with your efforts with that one.
I wasn't on him for the whole game, but credit to him, top player. So we just bloody do our role,
And third game for the club, mate. 3 in a row. How's the feel around the joint at the moment?
Obviously, the external expectations not there, but internally, I think if you're going to be a top side, you've got to put that pressure on yourself. You can't just think that there's not going to be any pressure because no one else thinks so. So if we put expectations on ourselves, we'll be all right.
And what about the standard of the comp, mate? New to the comp, how are you finding it?
Loving it. Top footy. Playing up in NT, it's bloody slippery as. So coming in here with a dry ball, it's unreal.
Well, get in and enjoy it, mate. Well done on tonight's game.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Jack O'Sullivan, our Watters player of the day. A stellar performance from him across the back line. He's come to the football club after being a
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.